And hello, everybody. I hope my mic is working. I've been fiddling around with mic stuff during the countdown here, and hopefully y'all can hear me. If you can't hear us or see us, let us know in chat, and we'll get right onto it. Welcome, friends, to the R&R&R Show. I'm Ruel Gaviola, joined by the awesome Chris George. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing better now that I'm here with all of you.
Yes.
I can hear you just fine. So, and Billy Pratt says we can hear. Goblin says we can hear.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Billy.
Goblin.
Thank you,
Thanks,
friends.
AG
AG
Fox.
Fox, thank y'all.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to
Hello.
be here.
Yeah, and
Really nice to be here.
for those that don't know, Chris has been a little under the weather lately, but
hmm
you look all fine and dandy to me, my friend. I mean, you're here and you're.
I made sure to do my skincare routine today. I exfoliated. I put my serums on. I put my other things that Renee
Nice.
told me to put on, and I'm taking credit like it was my idea. But get
Oh,
get the sickly pale face out of the camera and be here for you all.
yes. And I see the mustache is really coming in there.
The mustache is growing.
I love
It's
it,
growing
man.
every week. I'm
Yeah.
not trimming it until the end of the summer, and
It-
then I'll probably trim it immediately because Renee hates it. As she tells me
oh.
quite
I
often.
was gonna say, how do you know? Oh, she tells you apparently. That's great. Goblin
Good to
says
have
Ruel's.
communication, right?
Yeah, Ruel's louder than Chris. Okay, yeah, I have a big mouth and I've got my mic cranked up here, so let me crank that down. Let me thank
Yeah,
you,
I also
Goblin.
might be talking quieter than usual. Just
Yeah,
my voice is still
right.
still still coming back. Really.
Yeah, and again, I'm happy that you're well enough to join us here because you got to save your voice for your shows, not show, but shows.
Shows, yeah, plural.
Yeah.
We've been rehearsing Romeo and Juliet during the day, and then we've been putting on Pinocchio, the family-friendly musical, at night.
hmm
And soon we'll be putting on both Romeo and Juliet and Pinocchio. We got our first preview for Romeo and Juliet on Wednesday.
Oh
We'll
wow.
open that on Friday. Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll be a fun week, and then
Nice.
Pinocchio in between as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've been rehearsing. Do you rehearse every day? Is that how it works?
Generally, in the theater, you'll rehearse 6 days a week and you get one day off.
Okay.
But this company has been great, and we've only rehearsed 5 days a week, but we've gone for longer hours. So we've added
Okay.
you add an
Yeah.
hour to every day, right? So we normally go from 9:30 to 6:30,
hmm
and rehearse 5 days a week. And then now that we're in shows you normally do 8 shows a week, but because the sun is hot. And literally, I worked here 10 years ago and we did matinees. And
Uh-huh.
now, because, the ozone layer is more exposed and it's hotter
Oh my
and,
gosh.
our planet is dying, we literally cannot do it in the afternoon because people will get turned into lobsters. Like, yesterday was completely overcast and I was like, covered in sunscreen, and the things where I didn't get covered in sunscreen, like tip of my nose or whatever, just like
Oh
I
no.
was in the shade for most of the day and I still somehow got burnt.
Oh my
And I'm a
gosh.
quarter Lebanese and I shouldn't burn. What
Oh
do I
my
do?
gosh. Look at that. Well, again, I'm happy you're here, Chris. We've got a great show coming up, folks. We're doing this really fun thing called the Mid-Year Board Game Tag.
Yeah.
Thanks to Rolling with Reggie.
Uh-huh.
He's a YouTuber as well, and we thought it'd be fun to do something different here on the R&R&R show, and we can't wait to share that with you. But you're here for the pre-show. That's where you get to hang out with us, and we get to remind you that you can subscribe for free if you have an Amazon Prime account. Use that and get all the goodies, including discounts on Rahdo merch and all kinds of little avatars you're gonna battle pretty soon as well. So be sure to use that. I do want to thank Goblin for resubscribing. Appreciate it, friend.
Mhm.
Always
Thanks,
appreciate your
Goblin.
support. Thank you, Goblin. And Goblin also redeemed a this or that, Chris. So we're gonna do some this or that in a little
Let's do
while.
it.
Yeah, we'll
Oh
let.
yeah.
Actually, yeah.
We'll
Why
let some
don't?
people trickle in.
Yeah, as people trickle in, why don't we remind them that this or that we are going to be relying on you folks in chat, you good people, to give us a choice of two things. Peanut butter or jelly. Pizza or hamburgers, and we will give you our hot takes on why one is
hmm
superior to the other. So,
And
uh,
I will always choose the opposite of Ruel.
yes,
Just
actually,
just for fun.
just for fun. But you know what? If Richard was here, you would definitely pick the opposite
I
of
would choose the
Richard,
opposite of Richard. Yeah,
at least
Richard
for
and I
board
are.
games.
I think we're oil and water. I think we found that. over the course of this this whole series of the R&R&R shows, since we added the extra R.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like almost like clockwork. Okay, here's Chris's take, and Richard's going the other way now. It just cracks me up every time. Goblin says they got burned once walking around a block on a cloudy. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's you got to be careful too, because like even though it's cloudy, the UV rays can still get you. And that's normally where you'll, like, when it's sunny, you're like, oh man, I'm feeling the sun, I should probably get out of the sun. When it's cloudy, you got the breeze, you're like, oh, I'm completely fine. But then, you know, them rays are coming for you
every single time. So where you're doing, you know, the plays, are you totally exposed to the elements there? I mean, I'm guessing there's some trees and stuff, right?
Yeah, there's some trees and whatever. At around, when we start around 7 o'clock, and so the sun's setting a little bit, so it's a bit cooler. There's some shade, but generally, you know, it's just outside. We set up for a performance the other day, and then we thought the rain wouldn't start. It wasn't on the radar, and then the rain started. So we had to grab all of the instruments and electronic equipment and run it into the trailer and see if the rain would stop. And it didn't stop, so then the show got canceled. That's just what you got to deal with.
Yeah, that would totally freak me out. It'll start raining, just all the equipment they have out there. Especially electronics. Like, oh my gosh, dangerous. So how's the gaming going, Chris? As you know, you're rehearsing everything. Are you able to get games in with your fellow crew members and actors?
Honestly, it's not going well.
Oh whatsoever. No! Oh no! Yeah, I mean, you know, we see some of the games in the background there, and unfortunately, I guess they're not getting to the table. That's a bummer.
But I'm excited because I am going to be getting stuff to the table very soon. I do know this. Because once rehearsals are over, we're all like, we got some good gamers in the cast. Somebody, like we talked about last on our travel episode, right? Somebody introduced me to Hero Realms, which I'd never played before.
Yes.
And I was like, that's great. Somebody was like, yeah, my favorite board game's Inish. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're a gamer. I know you're a gamer.
Love it.
I get it. So
yeah, you know when you're speaking the same language, and they, you know, bring out games like that. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, as you're, you know, rehearsing and, you know, getting in your groove out there, are you also working on your channel, your YouTube channel? Are you producing content, or are you on hiatus from that?
Oh no, I gotta produce content.
Yeah,
keep on producing it.
Right.
I'm still producing. Try to produce three videos a week over on YouTube as well for Room and Board.
Okay.
So that's been my consistent goal. I've managed to keep it up, and I was able to you know, bank a few videos, which helped when I got sick. And then once my time opens up, I no longer have any more videos banked, but that's okay, because then I will be starting to play more games, and then I can review the things that I need to review, because I will be able to get the plays in that I need to have.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's actually, you know, I forgot to ask you about this. You know, we talked about you did your whole thing about, hey, here's what I'm going to pack when I go and get ready, you know, as I'm doing the play. Did you pack anything that is strictly for content, like, you know, games that you're going to review? And, you know, okay, you did.
I did, and I don't like that I had to, because it monopolizes the space in the bag.
Right.
So there was a couple games where I was like, I don't know if I can really justify this, but I need to do a review on it. Yeah. And so I brought it because I haven't yet done a review. And like, I never want to be the type of channel that like gets games and then doesn't review them, or agrees to review a game and then doesn't review them. Somebody sends me a game that I haven't vetted and haven't like expressed interest in.
Yeah.
And then they send it to me and I say, well, this looks like something I would hate. I don't want to learn it and play it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would feel that obligation personally, but there are some things where like I have agreed in the past and I haven't got to. I'm staring at one over there right now. It's called Labyrinth Paths of Destiny. That's one where I'm like, I need to get through it.
Yeah.
I need to get it to the table. Yeah, there's a couple other things that I do want to review though. Like I've got Endless Winter back here too. That I've only played a couple times.
Yes.
And so I want to get a few more plays in and then put out a review on that. Like a patron of mine sent that to me very generously because I was interested in it, and they didn't enjoy it. And so they're like, "Hey, you want it? I'll ship it to you." I was like, "That's very generous." And so because of that, like I want to honor that that generous gift, right? And put out like my thoughts and share my thoughts on it as well. And so those sorts of things, right?
Right. No, that's totally fair. And
yeah,
for
the most part, it was okay. And luckily, some of them were small too. Like Mind Bug is another one that I have to review.
Yeah,
but it's super small.
Right.
It's honestly smaller than this box. It's really just a deck of cards. I got two expansions in here, like 2 decks of cards in here. But I just took the box. It was annoying that I had to take the box because I'm like, you have to have it for the review, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would just like, this was on my short list for travel games too, because you can just pull it out.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, this is really that's really the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Total.
That you can
cards.
And then I've just got, there's a couple other like decks in here that have comboed in. But
wow.
Yeah.
Want to say hi to TVivD. Thank you for joining us, friend. Good to see you here. Folks, don't forget this or that. Give us 2 things. We're going to, talk about why we would take this over that, whether it's peanut butter and jelly, pizza or hamburgers, or mild or hot salsa, things like that. Or we could talk about games too. Put 2 games there.
About games.
Yeah.
What are some of the games that are on your review docket, Ruel? I know we have a question coming up. Rococo just subscribed.
Oh,
nice
thank you, Rococo.
Look
at that, Rococo, for ad-free Chris George content. I am all about that. Yes, folks. We have Chris George here. If you do not want ads, subscribe. You can subscribe for free if you have an Amazon Prime account.
True.
And you won't have to sit through ads to see this this fine gentleman to my left or right, which way you're facing.
Whichever universe you happen to be existing in at this moment in time.
Oh, speaking of universes, I finally got to see the new Spider-Man. Oh,
nice.
Oh, so good. Oh, my man. It totally lived to the hype. Now, having said that, I don't know. I really love the first one, and I'm at that point, like, did I really love this second one as much or more than the first one? And I'm going to have to watch it one more time, and that's how good it is. I'm definitely going to watch it again.
Nice.
I was talking to my buddy Mark Streed, and he was comparing the two to, like, Aliens versus the first Alien. So the first Alien, classic.
Interesting.
Yeah. Classic, very moody and whatnot. It sets the world. But then the second one totally just ramps up the action, and I loved Aliens. But I did love Alien. So now I feel like the same way where Across the Spider-Verse was so action-packed. I loved it. But, oh man, yeah, Michelle and I saw it yesterday, and we've been dying to see it, and it lived up to all the hype and then some.
There are a lot of really good movies in like summer theater. Summer movies are great because they're all just fun flicks, right?
Yes.
You're not in award season. You don't need anything heavy.
Yeah.
You just need like action. Yep. So like I want to see the new Mission Impossible. I think that'll be cool.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see the Barbie movie. That's gonna be so good. It's gotta be so good. Like the source material alone, I know almost nothing about it.
Yeah.
But I just have faith that it's going to be incredible.
I'll be honest, I had to pass on that one. Michelle's going with one of her girlfriends to go see that. I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But
I think you're going to have missed out.
You know what? I may end up seeing it anyways. It's just, I just think it's hilarious. Okay, folks, just, if we ever have, like, glitches, let us know, audio, video-wise. I just had a little minor one. Hopefully that didn't come through, and hopefully everything's okay. But apparently it is.
Yeah, I think it was. There was one thing where my browser stopped working when we were talking, and so I got a little distracted.
Yeah.
But I still was able to talk to you, and so I saw the chat. So
cool. I
assumed we were okay.
Yeah, on my end, we're okay, and maybe that just happened on my end here. So, anyways. We've got comments in chat.
I'll go closer. I'll go closer to the mic.
There you go,
Rococo. And I'm saying it right now, right? Because I was saying it wrong before. Let me know.
Rococo?
If I am still saying it wrong. I'm fairly certain I locked that into my brain. I said it to myself in the mirror 10 times, slapping myself. So I hope I got it right.
Yourself.
It's Rococo.
Rococo.
You idiot. Okay, perfect. Okay, good.
Nice. You know what? I'll turn down my mic a little bit more. I feel like I'm running hot today. So, and again, Chris is recovering, so that has taken some volume off his voice, perhaps.
Yeah, that's
But
true. I'm not as my normal volume is very loud. Like I'm normally a very loud person. And Renee gets embarrassed when I'm out in the supermarket or we're in a line or something, and I'm
really,
like screaming because I'm excited about something. I'm like, look at those chaps. Just say, why are you just shouting to this entire supermarket? I was like, I'm not. I'm
oh my
having a
gosh,
normal conversation at a normal volume. It's all of them who are eavesdropping.
that is
So I
hilarious.
can imagine that I might be a little bit quieter than usual.
Okay, so people are saying it's balanced. Thank you, friends.
Oh,
Appreciate
that's
that.
great. Thanks.
And also, Feldfan, hey, good to see you here. Zenver1 is here. All the regulars are coming in. I really appreciate y'all. Again, if you want to subscribe and become one of those regulars, hit the subscribe button, or use your Amazon Prime account for a freebie. We are going to be doing a this or that, thanks to Goblin, who has redeemed it. You can redeem Rahdo points, folks. So give us a this or that. Two games that we can talk about, or I always tend to go with the food stuff just because it's lunchtime where I am, and I always like sort of wolf down a little bit of my lunch, do the show, and then I finish my lunch afterwards. So I think that's why food's always on my mind. Well, if I'm honest, food is always on my mind. So what am I talking about? So let us know, friends, if you've got two things you want us to do. Okay, there you go. Here we come with some this or that. And we'll just
that Shakespeare plays.
Shakespeare plays. Oh my gosh.
That's not a this or that. That's a this or this or this times 36.
Yeah, right. So say maybe something like Shakespeare plays, or I don't know. Who's another one?
Barbie or Oppenheimer.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Goblin. That's the way to kick it off.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. What do you think?
People have been talking about this as the double flick of the summer.
Yeah.
They're like, Oppenbarbie, I think, is the term,
right.
or
Barbieheimer. Yeah.
Is one of them. I think I like Oppenbarbie. You take over. You take over. I've lost the ability to speak.
Yeah, I was actually talking to this with my friend Amanda McKnight. We do a show every other Wednesday on my channel called Words on Wednesday, where we talk about geek stuff and also board games. But she was going to do the double header, and she was trying to figure out with her Discord community, what do you do first? Do you go with like sort of the lighter stuff first with Barbie, and then go to the deeper, darker stuff with Oppenheimer, or do you do it vice versa? Or she was suggesting do a sandwich. You do Barbie, Oppenheimer, then you go back and watch Barbie.
And then you go back to Barbie again.
Yeah.
Or you do half of it, then you walk out and you start the other movie.
There you go.
And then you theater hop into the next one.
Yeah. I've heard a little bit of Oppenheimer. I love Christopher Nolan films. But I've definitely heard a lot, but I mean it is a darker movie, theme, obviously. So I don't know. It's one of those things that I feel like I would have watched it during award season, but I don't know if I want to watch it during the summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, my answer. I've already said Barbie. I'm Team Barbie, 100%. Yeah. Come on now.
There it is, folks. Team Barbie. Undue Pixel, thank you for joining us. They're asking the all important question: monkeys or koalas?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Koalas are vicious.
Koalas
are really vicious.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
They will kill you.
Yeah.
They will just straight up kill you. Now, monkeys will also kill you as well. Apparently, monkeys will attack you and go for your nether regions and try to like they're also vicious. They go for below the belt because they know that's the most effective way to tear you down.
Yeah.
I think both are scary. Both are better than bears. Koalas are sort of bears, koala bears. So therefore, I have to go with monkeys personally.
Yeah.
Because
both of them are. Both will rip off your face, folks. Either one will rip off your face.
Yeah.
Tear you apart. Oh man, I feel like monkeys aren't they stronger? I'm more afraid of a monkey because of their strength. But I feel like a koala could just like leap on your face and scratch it off, and like that. So I don't know. I'll pick monkeys as well. They just seem way scary.
Monkeys is a larger category of things. So, but we're gonna go with monkeys or monks for short.
Here we go. Ethan Hunt or James Bond?
That's a great one.
I like that one a lot because I love Ethan Hunt, but I
Mm.
grew up on James Bond. Um,
I
wow.
think I think I gotta go Ethan Hunt. It might just be like Cult of the New, might just be like I'm thinking of a Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Craig as James Bond really does it for me.
Same.
But I think I gotta go for the actual sort of batshit crazy
Yeah.
that Ethan Hunt does in
Yeah.
terms of like who would I want on my team to do
R-
something. James
yep.
Bond would be too busy seducing my wife
Yeah.
and having a cocktail, and
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt is like strapping a bomb to his chest and flying into space and then throwing it as far as he can. You know what I mean?
Totally. 100%.
Like
Yeah.
that's the sort of distinction between the two.
I was
So
I
I would
was
want
sort
Ethan
yeah.
Hunt on my team. Yeah.
I was sort of on the fence, but as you started talking, I was like, yeah, you're making a great point. James Bond's doing other things rather than focusing on, hey, I want to do crazy stuff and make sure we complete this mission and save all my friends.
Yeah.
And so, but oh man, I love Daniel Craig as James Bond. He was my favorite
Oh,
Bond.
so good.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going Ethan Hunt. That's a good one. Thank you, friends. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this one for Chris. Selden asking Henry VIII or Edward III.
I mean, Edward III doesn't really have a show. Maybe are you thinking Richard III as
Richard
well?
III. Okay, yeah.
If it's Richard III, I would go with Richard III because Richard III is like the best history play. If it's not, then Henry VIII.
Mhm.
Because who is Edward III? I don't know you. You don't even go here.
Is Richard III the one with the my kingdom for a horse? Is that the
Yeah,
big
that's
lad?
him. Yeah,
Hey, I know
he's
a
got the
little bit.
hump too.
Oh
He has
yeah,
a
yeah,
hump.
yeah.
Yeah, he
Nice.
starts with "Now is the winter of our discontent,
Ah.
glorious summer by this house of York."
So
And
good.
so York's in, yeah, and then Richard's in power. He's just like he's a baddie. He's a bad person, but he's
Nice.
fun to watch, and he's like really good at manipulating people.
Aha. There we go.
Yeah.
We're talking now. So going back to Spider-Verse, Kingpin or the Spot. Oh boy, Spot. Oh, what a unique character, right? But the Kingpin.
Is the Spot in the latest one?
Yes, in Across the Spider-Verse. Yeah, the Spot is like.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't seen that
Yeah,
second
when
one.
you see it, I mean that's like the main baddie, and you'll see what
Okay.
happens. Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool character. But for me, the Kingpin, I don't know, it's just a little more grounded in not reality, but just a little more grounded for character. I've always liked the
Mhm.
Kingpin as a bad guy.
Kingpin's great. I mean, like Vincent D'Onofrio has done a lot for
Oh,
Kingpin, I feel.
he was so good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
good as Kingpin.
But anytime you see Kingpin in the comics or like in a cartoon,
Yeah.
like Kingpin's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Undo Pixel. We're going to the classics here. Catan or Ticket to Ride.
Great question.
Me personally, I'm going
Oh.
Ticket to Ride. That's the one that got me it got me and my wife into the hobby. I was getting into the hobby because of pandemic, but then once Ticket to Ride showed up at the door, we could not stop playing that. So that's the one. And then years later, after I'd already gotten into the hobby, I finally got to play Catan, and it was good. I mean, I can see why it was so popular, but it had already sort of it didn't age well for us. So yeah, Ticket to Ride for me.
I feel like today, right now, I would want to play a game of Ticket to Ride more than Catan, but I've
Mhm.
got to always pick Catan because Catan was my gateway. Catan I've played so many games of,
Mhm.
and I still enjoy it, and I expect I'll be playing it at some point during this summer.
Oh.
before
Yeah.
before Ticket to Ride.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely.
I got to go with Catan. Even
Cool.
though that's a really good one.
Yeah.
But I got to go with Catan.
Here's for our Andrew Scott, our friend, says global warning, real or made up by Chris?
Yeah, I think made up by me.
I think so too.
That makes the most sense.
I
right?
thought that long ago. In fact, years ago, I was thinking this has got to be made up by a guy named Chris George.
It's like, oh, is it hotter out? No, it's
No.
not. Am I burning this year when I wasn't 10 years ago? Probably not. Probably not. It's
I don't know.
where's some sand? I just want to stick my head in that. Oh, it's too hot.
Sad. A goblin asks, worker placement or world exploration? Oh, That's interesting.
Worker placement all day. I mean,
Yeah.
world exploration. I assume you mean just like expanding maps and like or new discovering new things, going out exploring the world, like new passage, whatever sort of aspect of that. None of it, any sort of possible framing of that term, I would choose worker placement over it, because it's just like such a solid bones of a system.
Yeah. I agree.
It just works, right?
Yeah. I'm there's point where I'd been in the hobby for maybe like 6 months or so. And when you first get into it, you're just, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you want to play everything. And right off the bat, I just always enjoyed the worker placement games that I played. Stone Age, what was the other one? Euphoria from Stonemaier Games, and a couple other ones. And those just really, for whatever reason, I like the fact that it's really simple. You place something and do something, and that's all it is. And it just, for my mind, it just jived. And then seeing the different ways you can combo, and then sometimes you can block other players, I really like that. And so yeah, worker placement for me all day, every day. And then someone was asking, Roshko is saying, hey, worker placement or deck building?
That's also a great question.
Yeah.
I think when I did because on my channel, I went through all the Board Game Geek mechanics, and I like defined and I ranked them. And so I made a whole list of them. I believe worker placement was like my number 4. No, Fallen Mechanic was my number 4.
Okay.
Worker placement was close, but I think deck building was higher.
Oh,
this is tough now, though. I feel like it's something I could go back and forth on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
But I think because it was deck building and it was like pool building as well, like as BGG defines it, not just deck building, but they're like bag building and pool building. And so like, it categorizes all those. And so I think because of that variability, I would probably opt for the deck building, pool building systems over worker placement.
Okay.
That's my answer.
Yeah. Mine's going to... Yeah, I think for me, I'll have to do this with a little caveat. So I love worker placement. I do enjoy deck building, but it's got to be as part of a board game. Like pure deck building, just card play, I'm probably going to... I wouldn't rank it as high as like deck building as part of it, like a larger board game. Perfect example, Clank, or something like that, where it's like, hey, I'm building deck building, but I'm also exploring a dungeon and doing other stuff, pushing my luck and whatnot. So I like that as part of a larger game. I know you're a big fan of that game Trains as well. I love that. That's for me, perfect storm. You got deck building and you got Ticket to Ride mashed up in one. Oh, I love Michelle and I love Trains. We got to play that again. It's been a while, so I'm gonna have to bust that out, man.
Bust it out.
Yeah,
so good
for sure.
Oh, I wish I had it here. I had it with me.
Goblin.
That's what board game cafes are for.
Exactly. Goblin follows up with, hey, Clank over Dominion. Yeah, for me personally, I would do that, but I know that Dominion, with all those expansions, they do some really cool stuff, but it's still pure like card play.
Yeah.
Right? So
even still, like the board elevates it so much more for me as well. Yeah. Just like that other aspect.
Yeah. Kim says, never play another campaign game, or only play campaign games for all time, but you don't get to pick the games. Oh, wow.
That's easy answer. Never play another campaign game.
Same. Yeah.
Don't even need to think about it, because I never want to play another campaign game anyway. There are too many, and it takes too much time.
Yeah.
and they take all my energy and money, and I don't have the actual time to put into them to get the value back from them.
Right.
They're the scourge.
They're such a double-edged sword. Like, I love them in theory. In theory, I love campaign games. I think they're awesome. But just the reality is like, it's so hard to get the same group of players, every time for a game. And then eventually someone's going to burn out and, leave the campaign. It's like, do we finish it without them? Do we recruit someone new that hasn't played anything? But having said that, some of the best experience I've had are with campaign games. I'm just the narratives and, but I would have to go with never play another campaign game, sadly. Goblin. What does it say? Build the board in-game or build the cards in-game.
Like card crafting?
That's
like the sleeving, like from canvas or
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning, or
Mystic
Edge
Veil.
of
Yeah.
Edge of
Edge of
Darkness has
Darkness.
that too.
Yep.
Um,
Huh. I like card
I
crafting. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had that much experience with any card crafters, so but like my inclination is still building the board because I love that. I think being able to survey something when
Mhm.
you're done is more satisfying than looking at a card that you've only built for its mechanics and not for its actual like visual appeal. That
Mm.
makes sense.
Oh,
Like I'm
totally.
sure you build it but something like Carcassonne, for example, you're building that board out. And at the end, you got this whole like cool thing. And sure, it's been built
Yeah.
for a purpose for scoring points and you're playing strategically, but you also get to like see this cool thing that you've created at the end.
Yeah.
I know like one of the critiques of Canvas is like, yeah, I really want to make my cards look beautiful, but that's not going to make a good card
Right.
and make them have like work for points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's that is the sort of thing that I associate is that counterintuitive nature of card crafting that
Mhm.
is hard to do, right? I think just works better.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so for the visual satisfaction, that's what I would say.
Absolutely. So like tile laying games, obviously Carcassonne, you know,
Yeah.
the OG one. But I was thinking, though, I mean, I'm agreeing. I want to see the billboard. The one recently that was just amazing to me was Rolling Heights, from AEG, John D. Clare, where you're rolling meeples to build the city, and at the end you've literally built a city. They're like little skyscrapers. So it's like one of the coolest like end game photos that you'll ever take because it's a
Cool.
3D building. Oh my gosh, Rolling Heights is great.
I know. I'm still waiting to get a copy of that. I have it. I think I have it coming my way, but I know you like it a lot, so I'm
Yeah.
really excited to try it. I still haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I think you'll dig it. It's you know, easy game to pick up. You're just rolling meeples and doing the action and stuff, but there's enough there I think for you know, veteran gamers like yourself that hey, there's it's not just, you know, pure luck and how the meeples roll. There are things that you can set up, do a little slight engine building, and then when you just build those buildings, man, it's so cool. It just looks awesome.
Yeah.
Goblin
Goblin was
was
saying,
oh yeah.
yeah, I was thinking of Charterstone, but yeah, but I think any of that sort of like legacy aspect too.
Hmm.
I prefer the board, right? Because I prefer the communal experience and the communal affecting the like larger state is what I would think of rather than just like a smaller state. If
Yep.
I'm thinking of like mechanics or whatever.
Hmm. Agreed. Okay, we'll do
Yeah.
one more and then we're going to start getting ready for the show because we got a big show today, folks. We're going to be talking about
Oh
a lot
yeah.
of games.
Yeah.
Wrap this up with Wizard of Oz or Willy Wonka.
Like the characters, I assume.
I was
Not
thinking the
just the
movies. Yeah, I was thinking the movie. Well, let's answer both.
Well, because the movie would be Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right,
I'm
right,
just
yeah,
saying.
that's right. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
someone's getting a little precise here, folks. Someone wants to be accurate.
These are the important questions. So for characters, Willy Wonka, because Wizard of Oz is a piece of garbage,
Agreed.
right? Like
Yep.
he's a garbage person.
Yep.
Oh, Goblin Method movie. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I knew it's a movie. For movie, I think they're both just okay,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I don't find like too much affection towards either of them. I think I probably would personally lean towards Willy Wonka because it has Augustus Gloop. And so you do get to see Augustus Gloop
Yes.
going down the river.
Yeah, that's right.
And being blown up by an Oompa Loompa. So it
Yeah.
is that, although no, I'm going to change my answer. Even
Really?
with Augustus, yeah, I'm changing my answer because I remember the physicality from the Scarecrow in the Wizard of Oz. I remember the last time I watched Wizard of Oz
Uh-huh.
from like as an adult, and I really loved his physicality. I thought his physicality as a Scarecrow was actually like really awesome, like body work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so because of the Scarecrow, Augustus Gloop goes first. The Scarecrow I can watch for more of the movie.
Nice.
So because of that, I get more Scarecrow action. You get the Wicked Witch as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've changed your.
Although, I don't know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory has two sets of grandparents sleeping in the same bed. So there's that. Depends on what you're into, I guess.
Friends, this is the type of in-depth analysis you can expect every time on the R&R&R show. I'm going with Willy Wonka, the character and the movie. Just I'd rather watch the whole like the chocolate factory that just speaks to me, getting the magic ticket and whatnot, and I don't have to worry about seeing those scary flying monkeys or whatever they are in Wizard of Oz.
That's true. Yeah,
those are terrifying. And no, I did not have nightmares about those when I was a kid or adult. Okay, so thank you, friends, for hanging out with us today. Thank you for all the great this and that. We did an extended this and that just for y'all here on the pre-show, but now we're going to get ready to do our show today. This is the mid-year board game tag, sponsored by Subflow Games. And what we're going to do today is talk about the tags that our friend Rolling Reggie posted on his video. And why don't I do this here? I had, let me see, now playing. And thank you for the subscription, Sailnet. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Emmett.
Folks, be sure to check out Reggie's video there. I just dropped the link in chat. It will be in the show notes as well. Great video. It started this great conversation all throughout Board Game YouTube and now here on Twitch. So what we're going to do, we're just going to answer the questions as they come up, or as Reggie had, did them in his video. It'll be me, Chris, and then, of course, Richard joining through the power of a video. How are we feeling, Chris? We ready to go?
I'm ready to go. I was figuring what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I saw Board Game Garden just put up her response to the tag.
Oh, cool.
Over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that as I was going on YouTube right before jumping on this. I was
nice.
like, there's another tag. We better get on it.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Here we are, folks. So you're going to see this live. Again, if someone raids us or, comes on in, please welcome them and just let us know. You can also use the command live, and that'll let us let folks know, hey, we're doing this. We won't be responding directly to y'all until the post show. So let me get all this ready here.
It feels like there will be a post show. It also feels like you don't have to justify your picks as much in this one.
Right.
You just be like, hey, this is it. That's what it is.
Yeah, too bad,
I feel like I talk a lot and I go too long. But I feel like I won't go too long with these. So
really?
I think we'll get an after chat. We'll see.
Okay, cool.
Faith.
I mean, feel free to talk as much as you want, but again, I know you're dealing with voice issues, so I can carry the workload today if necessary. But before we get going, let me do our Battle Royale. Folks, y'all gonna battle it out. Duke it out. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck to everybody.
Yes.
I hope you win and that Rahdo doesn't win.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
My sincerest hope.
Good luck, everybody.
I like that the music's here.
Yeah, you can hear the music now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It's ominous. Or at least it's ominous for me on the delay.
Oh, so let's see. Who's... I can never read these names.
I know. We need to embiggen everyone.
Yeah. Okay, Rahdo's still in it, so someone's got to get Richard.
Somebody's got to get Richard. What I did learn is that the red is not your health, but it is, in fact, your hurt. So the more red you have, the closer you are to exploding.
Oh.
For those of you at home, that's what I learned. You
Okay.
see this dropping down, that med pack that Andrew Scott foolishly ran away from. Done like a little idiot baby. And that's why Andrew Scott's going to explode right now. Bam.
Yeah. And here comes Zen for one.
Well, that was on my delay. He probably was already dead.
Zen for one is out.
And I was dancing on his body.
Then there were two, folks. Who is that?
It comes down to this.
Yes. Roshko.
Come on, Zen for one. Get that pack. Oh, you needed that pack. Yeah. Is Roshko in there?
Yes.
Let's go. Come on. Come on, get that pack. Oh, look at all those packs over on the other side, of the screen.
Yikes.
It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter, Roshko. That's what happens when you sub. with Prime. It's not rigged, we swear.
GG, Rococo. Folks, let's drop some GGs. Good game for Rococo. I'm going to drop one in there under the Rahdo name. Good game. Well done. And it's random. So you've randomly chosen. You randomly won something, but hey, you get points too.
Oh, that got me.
We're going to have to take a moment, folks, as Chris catches his breath. Sorry, Chris. Imagine Eric, thank you for joining us. Good to see you here, friend.
That was really funny.
Okay.
It's random.
It's random. We didn't do anything. Okay. Oh, okay. We are going to get ready here. Let me get this here. So we're going to move over to this screen now. So you all could go off the screen for a minute, or for the next 20 minutes or so. Let me get this. Okay, we have that one ready, this one ready, and okay. Let me get this. Where is my... You all get to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. This is fun, right?
This is the stuff that gets the people talking.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many Rahdo points. I can't wait to use them.
Oh, start using them, yeah.
I'm going to highlight my message and see how exciting that is.
Okay. All right. So... yeah, look at that. I am champion, Rococo says. Well done, Rococo. Or do you prefer Rococo? I'm not sure.
Rococo.
Rococo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look at that.
Wow. Spending those Rahdo
Rahdo
points, folks.
I'm a frequent watcher.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait to... I need to remember this because then I need to decide what I want to talk about. Like, oh, who wants this or that? Somebody redeemed this or that. Oh, I just do this or that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, folks, we're going to get ready to go. Chris, here we go. Let's do the mid-year board game tag. And I'm going to start with Richard has recorded a brief intro with our sponsor, Self-Lover Games. So, and away we go.
Hey everybody, this week's episode of the R&R&R Show is brought to you by Cephalofair Games and the Gloomhaven Grand Festival. Did you know, folks, there's only a few days left to get in on this epic crowdfunding campaign and one of the biggest of the year, and it has so much going on, starting with the Gloomhaven role-playing game. This is such a cool idea, combining all the freeform, creative, narrative flow of a traditional tabletop pen and paper role-playing game with the brilliant card combat of Gloomhaven. It seems like a really two great tastes that taste great together situation. And if that's not enough, there's also about a bajillion miniatures you can get from all of the Gloomhaven creatures and characters and all of that. You can get them in different quantities. There'll be painting for the rest of your life, all of these miniatures, and you can add them to the RPG or to regular Gloomhaven and Frosthaven campaigns. Also, we've got Gloomhaven 2.0, which is not just a slight redo of the original Gloomhaven. Things have been radically overhauled. All of the character classes have gotten significant tweaks. The inventory item system has been completely redone from the ground up. There is a new faction system that changes the way that you play through the narrative elements of the game. This takes all of the lessons learned over half a decade of Gloomhaven development and reapplies it to where we got started, and it looks fantastic. But all of that, folks, is just the preamble for the coolest thing. It is Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. This is a very cool little Gloomhaven micro game that you can get all the gameplay of Gloomhaven in 20-minute sessions in a fun, fast, portable, little brilliant design. So there is something for everybody here. There's even some new stuff for Frosthaven fans available on this. So check it out, folks. That is Cephalofair's Gloomhaven Grand Festival, and it'll be ending its crowdfunding this week on the 19th of July. Okay, now on with the show.
All right, and here we are, friends. Welcome to the R&R&R Show. My name is Ruel Gaviola, joined by Chris George. Chris, how the heck are you, my friend?
I am better now that I am here with you, Ruel, as always. How could I not be? My life is incomplete when I am not here with you on these videos. It's the truth.
I was
thinking... I will stand by it, and I will have it written on my grave.
I was thinking the exact same thing, Chris. How funny is that? The exact same thing. Your words
Exact
in
same
my
one?
mind. Yeah.
Wow.
Friends, welcome to the show. We're doing a really cool thing this time. This is very different for us, and we're so excited to do it. This is the mid-year board game tag. So this is something that Rolling Reggie on his YouTube channel did, and he sent it out, and a bunch of creators have been talking about it. They've been answering all the questions. It's basically 8 questions, and we'll go by those one by one here with Richard through the wonders of video, and we're gonna talk about a lot of great games and recent games, and as well as old ones too. We do want to shout out one more time Cephalofair Games. Want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. As you saw in the intro there, they've got this big campaign. Again, check out the show notes below, and you can check out the link and see all the things they've got going on. The campaign's going to end in a couple of days. When the YouTube video's out, it should be like the next day or two. But really cool thing. Now, full disclosure, I have been working with Cephalofair behind the scenes throughout the campaign, doing their some Twitch and YouTube work for them. But I'm totally legitimately excited about the whole campaign, but especially Buttons and Bugs. Folks, I think it was a couple of years ago, maybe just last year. No, I think it was a couple of years ago. Joe Clipful, one of a designer, he took Gloomhaven and did a thing called Gloomholden, where he distilled the entire Gloomhaven game down to 18 cards. He made a micro game out of it. It's so brilliant. And Isaac Childress and the whole team over there at Cephalofair, they loved it so much they decided to license it and create a whole new thing called Buttons and Bugs. So you basically take the game, shrink it down to 18 cards, but they re-expanded it to 100 cards. But you're still playing Gloomhaven, but it's like totally stripped down. It's such a brilliant idea, and I had to bite my tongue for about a month because I knew about it ahead of time, but I could not say anything, NDAs and all that. But I knew when it was going to be released halfway through the campaign, it's going to be a huge hit, and it has been. Like, I can't wait to play it. Nikki Valens helped design it along with the original designer, Joe Clipful, and Isaac Childress. And Isaac actually created a whole new narrative for it, too. So be sure to check that out, folks. Chris, how you doing? You holding up there?
Oh, no. Shoot. I thought I had it.
So, no worries. So, Chris, he's an actor. He is he is away from home right now, doing some plays, and the voice, folks, as actors, very important. And unfortunately,
I didn't have a problem until we started recording this.
Yeah,
I was so good in the pre-show.
Oh, totally.
And then something has been unlocked in me.
No worries.
But you know what it is? It's my passion for Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs as well.
There it is, folks.
I think legitimately, to get us back on track. Sorry for the
no
folks
worries.
At home. I'm still fine. I'm here, and I got my mute button, and that's the whole point that exists. Buttons and Bugs is the thing that I think is the best thing to come out of the campaign. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it looks really good. It's $15.
Yeah,
and I'm really excited by what I've seen there. I love the inception of it.
Yep.
I love that it came from somebody who just wanted to have this solo version.
Yeah,
and I think it's like a really cool adaptation of it.
It really is, and I think Jaws of the Lion, that's the one that I feel like it was the most accessible for new players to the world. I believe now that Buttons and Bugs, this is the one to get. Buttons and Bugs, if you're new to Gloomhaven, that's it. But again, check out the show notes below. Folks, why don't we get into this mid-year board game tag? Again, the questions and prompts were provided by Rolling Reggie. I want to thank Reggie again. Mm-hmm. Check the show notes below for his original video. We're going to kick things off with Chris. As long as you're okay, Chris, we're going to kick things off with you, my friend.
I'm okay. I think the fit may have passed.
Okay.
And I am here and ready to talk about some fun things.
Okay, cool. And if you do need a break,
sorry if I blow out your ears.
If you do need a break, just let me know, and we're happy to get you back on track here.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We're going to have you kick things off, Chris, with the first prompt from Reggie, which is, what is your favorite game? And this is for this year, January 2023 to the present time. So kick things off first.
Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about this, just about the list and how excited we were to do it. And I love that it's like a 2023 check-in, but there are so many. I don't think there's a 2023 game on my list, honestly, except for things that are coming out. But actually on Boardgame Geek, it's written as 2022 because the Kickstarter was back in 2022.
Aha.
but I know it's actually coming out. Like I was trying to think of physical things, but I love this. I love this idea of just like, what have you been playing? It is just a mid-year check-in. It's just like, how have you been having fun? What have you been playing? All that sort of stuff. And so, my favorite game that I have played this year that was new to me that I'd never played before is right behind me, actually.
Nice. And
Pull
what
it
do we
out,
have?
and we got Rococo.
Coco, yeah.
Rococo. It's by Eagle Griffin Games. It's this big friggin' deluxe edition, and it's gorgeous. It's obviously gorgeous. This this has been such a lovely surprise hit for me. It was something that I had wanted to try for a while, and finally got the chance, and it just is so friggin' elegant. It also helps that my girlfriend Renee likes it as well. It's definitely her favorite game of the year as well.
Nice.
It's got this hand management, kind of little deck building aspect. You start with a hand of 6 cards, and they're either little baby assistants, some like medium tailors, or beautiful cream of the crop tailors. And on your turn, you're going to play one of those cards, and you can do an action based upon like the skill level of them. So you can hire new people, and those go directly into your hand, and so then you can play them again to take extra actions. You can gather materials, you can gather threads and stuff. You could weave those threads into a fine dress, and then you could put that dress on display in the grand hall, or you can sell it for more money to get more materials and more stuff down the line. It's just like, you can see the picture of it right there. The board is so elegant. The deluxe edition comes with these cool little like threads and lace tokens, and I had never played it before, and man oh man, has this shot up in my ranks. It's so fun. It's just so fun. Like I wish I had more to say like critically about it. But I can't, because it's just so fun.
Yeah.
I played it at 4 and at 2 so far. Just kind of the base game so far. I haven't experimented with any of the little modules that they have in there. You can add in jewelry, and you can add in a bunch of this other stuff. But it's just like the base game itself is really, really good, and it's an expensive game because it is at this like deluxe copy. And so like, if you know anything about like me personally, I'm super cheap, but it's just been such a blast to play. And so I'm happy that is definitely my favorite game, and I can't wait to play it again.
Nice.
It's one that I'm like actively looking forward to keep playing.
Oh, I love that, and it's so good to hear that, because I have never played Rococo, and it's it is on my bucket list. So a funny thing, I actually ordered it right after it hit retail or whatever, the deluxe version, everything. I ordered it from a local store, and somehow my order never got placed. I thought I was charged for it, and then I kept asking. They said, "Oh yeah, it's," and unfortunately, like months later, they never had my game. So I was like so bummed, and I just sort of, my card was never charged, whatever, and I was just sort of frustrated, and I never got back onto it. Is again, how fast things move in the board game world. I just my attention absolutely. Went elsewhere. But then just watching Rahdo's run through, and also what you were just saying, it's like, I need to play this game. I know it's good. Like everyone I've talked to has loved it. It was out of print for many years, and then this deluxe version came in. Oh, it looks gorgeous. And the fact that you said it's worth the money, Chris, that really skyrockets in my opinion. I definitely want to get there.
I'm cheap.
I
think it's worth the money.
Me too. All right. Great call. Okay.
What's your favorite game, Ruel?
Thanks, Chris.
I'm going to listen. I'm going to mute myself, but I'm still going to be listening.
Cool. Thanks for asking, Chris. Yeah, my favorite. This was something that surprised me a little bit this year. I knew about this game, but I didn't expect to. I was really interested in the theme, mainly because I'm a book nerd. I'm a word nerd, so anything like books or stuff like that, I'm immediately interested in. And Books of Time was a game was sort of off my radar, and then once it came on the radar, it's been a huge hit. Michelle and I played this for the Tabletop Live Network. That's our monthly event that I do with the Brothers Murph. We help coordinate it. We live stream for all weekend long. And this one was a sponsored playthrough from Boards and Dice. And man, oh man, I love this game. The theme, it's about building books, literally putting books together. If you can see in the video, Michelle and I each have 3 little 2-ring binders. So you are actually Let me see if I can show you some of these. You're taking, as you can see here, Michelle's actually taking the little page, placing it in the book, and that's her action. So, or that's going to give her action. So as you, play actions, you're going to flip or turn the page and then do other actions. It's such a unique tableau builder. It just totally blew me away. And I love the fact that it's a Gateway Plus game. So I just sort of expected this to be heavier because it's a board and dice game, but thankfully, no, it's not like Teotihuacan. It's more along the lines of, Zapotec, where you're going to have about a 60 to 90 minute game. It's going to be a little crunchy, but not so crunchy where it's like a 3-hour game or 2.5-hour game. And that's like perfect for me and, Michelle. That's the type of games she loves. So Books of Time, you have 3 different books, 3 different topics that you're building, and you have a civilization track that you can go up. And as you build your books, you're going to start collecting resources. There's some set collection to this. Oh man, I just adore this game, and it's so thematic. You got your ink that you can use and your erasers, and oh my gosh. And as you'll see in the right side of that screen, there's like, I forget what it's called, but it's like the main book. And that one, it's like an event that happens for everyone. Each time that page turns, you're getting closer to the end of the game. So I think it's like 15 turns, and by the when there's like 3 turns left, you'll know it has like a bookmark. It says, hey, we have 3 turns left. Oh, it's so clever, and absolutely loved it. It's been a hit. It does have a solo version too, which I have not unfortunately been able to play, but I've heard good things about the solo version. But yeah, this has been my favorite game of the year. That is Books of Time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Excited to play it.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Chris. I think you'd like it. If you're a fan of tableau building, this does tableau building in a very new and unique way. Okay, so those are our favorite games. Let's see what Richard has for us. Richard, take it away.
Oh man, Well, I am so jealous. I so desperately want to play Books of Time. There was actually a snafu. I was supposed to get a review copy sent to me from the publisher, but it went to Kimberly instead, which is why she did the run-through on the channel, and she did a great job and made me want it even more. Kimberly, I'm coming for you. I am going to get that copy of Books of Time, and after I play it, well, I might end up agreeing with you. And hey, Chris, 2013 called, and they say, welcome to the party, pal. I mean, Rococo is fantastic. The reprint is amazing. I can't blame you. It's good stuff. But, yeah, I mean, you're playing some catch-up. That's all right. I mean, fantastic game. For me, what is the best thing I've played so far this year? It's got to be Jump Drive, the Terminal Velocity expansion. This is not the best standalone new game I've played, but this expansion adds so much to what was already a nearly perfect, flawless, fast-playing little card game. This takes Jump Drive out of my top 50 and brings it into my top 20, quite frankly, with the new objectives system that was added and the extra cards that have gone in. And I already love Jump Drive. The solo mode is fantastic. You can play 5-player. It's just one of the greatest card games. I mean, it so eclipses its predecessor, Race for the Galaxy. Now this is basically Race for the Galaxy Express with the Terminal Velocity expansion. It's getting, it's starting to muscle in on Roll for the Galaxy as my all-time fave. Don't tell my wife I said that. But anyway, so far, of everything I've played this year, it's got to be Jump Drive, Terminal Velocity. Okay, back to you guys.
Okay, Jump Drive. So I recently just played Jump Drive on BGA. Folks, on Boardgame Arena, they have a bunch of board games you can play for free. Jump Drive is a great implementation. I have not played Terminal Velocity yet, but if it's, I mean, Jump Drive is brilliant, but if it's taking it from 50 into the top 20, that's saying something.
That's
Richard.
Really significant.
Yeah.
Wasn't Jump Drive was his number one for travel games that we did
Yeah.
last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And for him to say this one takes it to a whole new level, I'm excited to try this out. Have you played Terminal Velocity?
No, I haven't played any of the Jump Drives.
Okay.
Not from last week. I mean, I'm still catching up from 2013. Really? How am I supposed to? You think I played it in a week? Ruel, no chance.
Now I'm talking.
I can't wait to get to 2014.
It's right around the corner.
I think there's going to be some gems in there.
Yeah. Okay, let's. I don't know why it says Books of Time. It's because I forgot to change the title, but hey, that's okay because we're moving on to our second prompt from our friend Rolling Reggie. Chris, we're going to have you lead the way as usual. What you got for your most played game?
Now, this is a really weird one this is weird to me that it is my most played game. And honestly, I kind of cheated with this because my most played game is now is Skull this year, because that's what we've been playing at lunch. And so I've been logging all the plays, and it plays just so quickly. So, but we talked about it in the travel games. And so I didn't want to be that guy, you know, who just repeats the same things from the previous list onto this same list. Didn't want to be that person. So I figured I'd go to my second most played. And I also feel like those games, it's hard to, where you can play like 5 or 6 games in a sitting. You know what I mean? That kind of inflates the numbers in a way that I didn't think embodied the spirit of this question. And then so my second one, I think I've like 10 plays of this year. And it's so surprising to me, because I don't think I think I even put out the review on this last year. It's Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to a Ghost Town.
Nice.
I have played this game. I didn't realize I'd played this game so much, but I have played this game so much. And like, I didn't even think I would get to that many plays of this game, because I'm like, it's a fun game. Like, it's definitely a fun game.
Yeah.
One player plays the mayor, and I think that's why I've played so many games of it, is because I've run this a lot. So one person plays the mayor of Ghost Town and knows the layout of Ghost Town, and everybody else doesn't. So everybody else has to go through Ghost Town, finding a pizza and delivering it to a house while avoiding ghosts and fences and stuff. And so they'll move north, and you'll say, you successfully moved north, and around you are fences here, and there might be some ghosts here, and there might be some pizzas here. And it gives kind of like a general layout about what's around you. And so you're plotting out the map as you're going around, but you might fall into teleporters, etc. And I think I've played this a bunch because I've played it since I even came to Halifax, because my girlfriend Renee really likes it, and she likes introducing it to new people. And then like younger kids really like it too. So like her nephew has really taken a shine to it and was like, let's play the Ghost Pizza one, right? And so just having this sort of like weird, unique party trick game, so to speak, like it feels like a party trick. It feels like, hey, here's this weird, unique thing that's out there. I guess I've wanted to show it off, and or it's been pulled out, or people have asked about it because of the title or whatever. But it's mind-boggling to me that this has gotten like 10 plays, and beats pretty much everything else on the list. I wanted to cheat and just put something that I liked more, like Avalon, which is also vying for it.
Yeah.
Which was close, but I decided to go with this one because I thought that was kind of funny. And this is the one reason why I'm very happy I started logging plays, because I can look back in my like BG Stats app and say, yep, I played this many times and didn't realize it. And so I knew that it would come in handy for YouTube, and I only started it because of YouTube, and I knew it would come in handy. So that's Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to a Ghost Town. Inexplicably, my most played game.
That's great.
I think that makes sense too, because I'm a pretty big Omni gamer. I like playing a lot of different things, and so I wasn't expecting anything to be like super high up, and I was expecting more of the coups and the skulls. But again, since both of those were on the list last week, and I didn't want to repeat, that's why we're here now.
Very nice. I want to shout out our friends Table Nuts for doing the video. Thank you for letting us use that. I guess we should ask permission first, but it's nothing but love here. But Chris, I've been like so into this game ever since you mentioned it before. Just because of the name alone, that's like one of the great all-time great names. Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to Ghost Town, and I like that it's a game that's very accessible, because I know with my nieces and nephew, they hear the name, they're definitely going to be into it. It's like we're playing it, just based on name alone. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay,
for sure gets kids in. Yeah.
Looking forward to trying it. I'm going to move on to my most played game of the year, and I actually knew this game would get played a lot because I got a preview this last year. I've talked about the game already on the channel, but I got a preview of this last year at PAX Unplugged, and the second I got my 2-minute demo, I was like, this is going to be one of the best games of the year, and I know it's going to be played a lot in my household, and it is Nimalia. This is a small card-based game from Lucky Duck Games. Richard did his little run-through here. you are just laying cards down, building your little reserve, and you're lining up the animals. It's got that sort of Sprawlopolis thing where you are, laying cards on other cards. It's a card drafting game, and then it's got the spatial element of how are you gonna, get all these different animals and reserves lined up the different terrains. It's got different goals. You just score 2 goals every round, and it changes every round, just like in Cartographers. So it's got the best of Sprawlopolis, Cartographers, and card drafting games. The second I saw that, it really was just like a 2-minute demo. I was like, yeah, I'm all in on this. And when I brought it home, like when they sent me a review copy, I tore it open, relearned the rules, and Michelle and I just fell in love with it. And we played it almost, I think, 10 times already this year. And I've introduced it to, I think, 4 different gaming groups or friends, and they've all loved it too. So nothing, it didn't surprise me, but that I played it that much. I loved it that much. And I know Richard, that one from Nimalia for him sort of came out of nowhere, I believe. And so I know he was really pumped about it. But that's why it's my choice, or that's why it's been my game that I've played the most this year. That's Nimalia.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't played it, but you're selling it very well. I love that's sort of dual scoring condition of Cartographers. I think that's a really cool thing. And so that gets me intrigued for sure.
When it was actually Bree from Lucky Duck, when she worked with them, she had mentioned, hey, I'm going to show you this game. It's going to take 2 minutes, and the first thing I wanted to let you know is it's got Cartographer style scoring. I was like, oh yeah, because I love that mechanism, like how you know what's scoring in the first round, and you also know what's going to score in the 4th round, right? So things are going to change, but you can still sort of plan ahead. I love that, and it's a brilliant design, and look, I'm hoping to get a copy soon, Chris, because it's wonderful. Okay, let's go. Let's see what Richard's got to say for his most played game of the year.
All right, Ruel. Yes, Nimalia is fantastic. Folks, you have not heard the last of it on this very list. I'll talk a bit more about it soon. But, Chris, congratulations. You made it up to 2022. And I do have to admit, I do think this game looks really, really cool. I saw your video of it a while ago and was very impressed and very saddened that it does not support 2 players. It's a 3-player minimum game, which is not surprising. That's often the case with hidden movement games. Although, I did check on Boardgame Geek, and people have reported that it works great as a 2-player game with the second player controlling 2 pizza delivery agents, delivery folk. So it could be pretty cool. That's all very, very nice. But what did I play most so far this year? It's got to be Earth. Man, I played the heck out of this game at the Dice Tower West Library. I think I played it with you, Ruel. I don't remember. I played it with so many people. I played it probably not quite a dozen times this year, which is a lot for me because I'm always playing, new things to cover for the channel. But I played it a lot at the convention, then I played it quite a bit with my wife Jen while we were on the road. Then I sent it to Kimberly so she could film it for the channel. And then I was very, very sad, so sad. I missed it so much that I went and bought myself another copy at a friendly local game store down in Salem, Oregon. And I've got it and I've played it again. So we just can't get enough because this is such a big, crunchy game that gets so much gameplay done in such a fast time frame. It's absolutely amazing. Now, I am going to give an honorable mention to Sagrada Artisans because I played this over a dozen times, and it is a 2023 game, but I played this a while ago, last year, I think, when I covered it in prototype form. So I don't think it really fits. It is the most played 2023 game of mine, but not the game I played most in 2023, which again is Earth, which is fantastic. It's going to be making a lot of best of the year lists at the end of this year. Mark my words. Okay.
Yeah, Richard, yes, that was me. I did play with you at Dice Tower West. We played a 4-player game. It was me, you, Nick Murphy, Shay, and I think one of their friends. Was it a 5-player game? I forget, but I loved Earth. Same feeling. The second I played, I was like, yeah, this is going to be one of the top games of the year. I know it was all the rage at Dice Tower West. That was like the game that generated the most buzz. I've actually played it a couple times on Boardgame Arena, folks. It's free. You go play Boardgame Arena. And I need to get a physical copy because I loved it so much. It's an awesome game. I can't wait to try it solo as well. Chris, have you had any experience with Earth?
Yeah, Earth was vying for most played as well. I've played it a lot
Nice.
this year as well too. Just because like it's arrived, everybody's talking about it, and it's really solid.
Yeah.
It is really solid. Like for when I did my review of it on my channel, I was like, I tried to quell the feeling of like passion that has swirled around everybody talking about it. I think it is like the quintessential good game that isn't going to be leaving the collection anytime soon. You know what I mean? I think it's just like a really solid thing. Love the follow mechanic. And yeah, I was, Renee didn't like it as much as I was really hoping she would. And if she had, I think this could have dethroned Psychic Pizza Delivers, because like it would have hit the table. But yeah, definitely was close.
Yeah.
Was up there in the running for me.
Definitely, brilliant game. I'm glad that you enjoyed it just as much as you know, we all. I feel like it really is a runaway leader right now as far as you know, one of the top games. So okay, so most played. Let's move on to our next question from a Rolling Reggie. Reggie asks, "What was your biggest surprise?"
So, I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
My biggest surprise. I'm just gonna go right and say it. It's Galactic Era. I've talked about this, I think, on this channel already. It's a big 4X space game, and it was one from sort of like an indie designer. Had a small run on Kickstarter. It's probably harder to find, but you can probably find it out there. I love this game. I think it's so good. It might be my favorite. I think it's my favorite space 4X game. Right? Like I think it when it was pitched to me, it was pitched as all the things that I didn't like about Twilight Imperium. The designer reached out and said, "Hey, I've made a game that like addresses all of those things you didn't like," and so that's what it worked. All the things, it was true, and so it was surprising to me that how much I enjoyed this and how much it hit with me. I just think it's such an exceptional game. I've got a review on my channel if you want to check it out for more information. It's a big SpaceX, 17 different races with different powers. You can be good and then you can be evil, and when you're evil you can subjugate the planets, and when you're good you can only like ally with them, and so you need to ally with advanced civilizations, and you can't touch the primitive civilizations because you're obeying the prime directive. So like all of those like little touches are just make it so good for me in terms of this big space game, and super happy that I've played it, and super happy to always shout about it now. It's the only thing that I've given like best of the year status on review status. I try to do that only 4 times a year. I hit the golden buzzer, and if this got the golden buzzer, I just think it is just like an exceptional design. And I love how much I loved it.
Nice. Yeah, I know we've talked about it on the show here before, and it's besides the Psychic Ghost Pizza game, this is the other one that's really been stuck in my craw, just because, you know, I love Twilight Imperium, but if I can get that same experience in like a fraction of the time with still having all the 4X stuff that I love, I mean, this was immediately put on my radar by you, so I cannot wait to play it some. Now, I don't know if it's out already, correct? Or
it is out, because it had a Kickstarter and it's out. I think what you could purchase at various locations, it would be like the overstock or the amount that the designer was able to buy, right? Like it's self-published, so you're purchasing it from the designer and he's probably shipping it to you, or you're purchasing it from a local hub that has it or whatever. I know that there are copies available for purchase, but I also know that like it's not wide release by any means.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna have to track it down. Thank you, Chris. Let's move on to my biggest surprise of the year. This surprised me in a couple of different ways. Number one, I remember I was approached to do a run through for the channel, and you know, as we do, we take a quick look at the rule book. I was like, okay, this looks cool. It's definitely on the lighter end, but I was like really intrigued by it because of the format. So the format of this game, it's like a tournament. You are getting a tournament in a box. So you're playing a game. Whoever wins, they go on to the next opponent and so forth. And you play 7 rounds, and then the top 2 scores go and duke it out for the championship. And that really intrigued me. And then, as I'm prepping for the video, it actually got nominated for a Kennerspiel. And I was really fascinated by this because of how light it was. By the way, the game is Challengers, folks. I was intrigued because I felt like it was a little bit on the lighter end. And, you know, as we're filming this video today, folks, just last night, it was announced that Challengers won the Kennerspiel. So this is your
Look at
your
that.
2023 Kennerspiel winner, folks. Challengers, here's the run-through I did for the channel. I actually soloed it. And this is what's fascinating, Chris. Again, it's a tournament-style game. It plays up to 8 players. And you can solo it because it has a little robo deck. And that robo deck is also used when you have an odd number of players. So that way, no one's just like sitting out. So like if I had 3 players, it'd be say like me versus Michelle, and then Chris, if no one's around, Chris would play the robo deck. And then those 2 winners, you know, they have a little chart there that's your seating chart. It's like after you win this game, you go to the next one, and then, you know, someone plays in robo deck and so forth. What it is War, the classic card game War, but for gamers. It adds, it adds a little bit of deck building and hand management. And, you know, the more I play it, and the more I played, not only just solo, but multiple players, I'm like, okay, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant game. As far as like being a Kennerspiel versus just the Spiel des Jahres, I feel like it's a lighter game, but you know what? I'm okay with that because it's worthy of all the praise it's getting. Because you can play a tournament-style game, this entire game, 45 minutes to an hour. That's it. You play 8 rounds or 7 rounds plus a championship game, and at the end of it, it's like, okay, so-and-so's a champion. I love it. The gameplay is super smart. You start with a base deck of cards, and then I think it's really like a perfect introduction to deck building because after a round, you're just going to go to either a deck A, B, or C, depending on what it says on the card. You just grab 1 or 2 cards, and then you add it to your deck, and at that time, you can discard and you can remove from your hand any cards that you want. There's no like trashing mechanism. There's no currency to worry about. You just do it, and then you go to the next game and play, and you know, hopefully you'll win because you're going to get points. Even if you don't win that round, you still have a different opportunities to get points. So it's always, you know, I play this. I think the max I played is probably 5 with the Robobot, and this game shines at that higher player count because it really does give you that feeling of a tournament without having to get, you know, a bunch of people trying to coordinate and having like all day to do a tournament. No, it's done in 45 to an hour. I think it's so brilliant in that aspect. And, you know, it may not be what I feel is Kennerspiel material, but it's definitely an award-winning game, definitely worth all the hype. And that's why it was my biggest surprise of the year, Challengers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is surprise. I mean, like you pitch War, you're like, hey, it's the game War.
Yeah.
Like most gamers would say, no, thank you.
Right,
but,
right.
Like, I can see what that feels like. It really hits for surprise for sure.
Yeah, it's so easy to get to the table because you just say War. People are like, oh, I know that. You just, you know, do cards until you're higher than the other guy or player, and that's it. But then with all the different, you know, abilities, different factions and stuff, that comes to play. It's not overly deep, but it's surprisingly strategic because of that deck building mechanism. Like, when do you get rid of your low cards? When do you bring in your high cards and stuff? And also, I should have mentioned, there's a thing called the bench where the cards you've played go there. And if your bench ever gets filled up and you have to place a card because you've been knocked out or whatever, if you can't put a card there, it's already full, then you just lose that round. So it is a management, you know, hand management type of game as well. So anyways, another one I'd highly recommend. Let's find out what Richard has for his, what are we talking about? This is his biggest surprise of the year. Coming right up here, Richard.
All right, biggest surprise. Ruel, Challengers. You know what? I kind of share that surprise, but for me, it's surprise that it got nominated for the Kennerspiel des Jahres. I mean, I enjoyed your run through of it. I get the idea, but yeah, that was got to be one of the biggest surprising choices of the year. Although I'm sure that's probably not the surprise you were talking about. You're just talking about how much you enjoyed it, I'm sure. And I'm sure it's great. But yeah, Kennerspiel? I don't know. Chris, Galactic Era. I remember you talked about this on a previous episode. And yeah, it sounds really fantastic. Totally not my cup of tea, but I'm really glad you're trying to bring more eyeballs to it because it really looks like it deserved if you're looking for intergalactic 4X awesomeness in a tight package. Seems very, very nice. For me, my biggest surprise, though, has got to be Nimalia, which Ruel already talked about as his most played game. I've played it quite a bit as well. And yeah, I mean, I figured this game was going to be good. I mean, I love the idea of card patchwork, being able to take cards and lay them over the top of other cards to create new patterns. One of my favorite mechanisms, because it takes tile laying to a whole new level, and tile laying probably is my favorite gameplay mechanism. And honestly, I mean, I have to admit, I wasn't that surprised by another revisit to the old well of card drafting a la Sushi Go or Seven Wonders, but it's done really nicely here. Kind of harkens back to Notre Dame from Feld, and probably actually better a card drafter for 2 players than most when it boils right down to it. But what really makes Nimalia special is recapturing the magic of the multi-revisiting objective system that, as far as I know, folks, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, I think the first time we ever saw this was in Isle of Skye, the idea that, hey, there are multiple objectives and they will get scored multiple times at different times over the course of the game. So you want to figure out how to do well with it early and how to do well with it late. And let's see. Obviously, cartographers, came after Isle of Skye and really popularized this idea. Everybody loved it there, and yet we hardly see it in games at all. Board game publishers, this has got to be just about the best way you can handle board game objectives, period. And so far, Isle of Skye, cartographers, and Nimalia, again, folks, if there are other games that have used this system for objective management, please let me know down in the comments, because I want to play more of them, because it's such a surprise how amazing it is, which is why Nimalia makes my biggest surprise so far for the year.
Yep, we talked about it.
There you go.
And there it is. So can't wait. Oh, I already got the next question up here. What has been your biggest disappointment? Wow. Anyways, final thoughts for Nimalia, folks. Richard and I played a bunch. He's played a bunch. And Chris hopefully will be playing it a bunch as well.
I hopefully will be playing it more than the 2 of you combined.
Yes, do it.
Just to be competitive.
Yes. I've already spoiled the next question, Chris, so we're just going to jump right into it. Number 4 from Reggie. What has been your biggest disappointment?
Well, my biggest disappointment is that Richard had to steal your number 2. No, my biggest disappointment is another older game that I played for the first time this year, and I was so excited for it. I played it at the Niagara Board Gaming Conventions, just a little big, a little big board game meetup where everybody brings their own games. It's a weekend of gaming. That's close to me, and so I was very excited to get this to the table. It requires 8 people to shine, and that's Captain Sonar.
Yeah.
So Captain Sonar is one that I have been wanting to play for ages, right? I've heard about this great game, but you have to play it with 8 people. You have to play with 8 people who are ready to do it real time and have all the chaos going of move the bombers, like, okay, no, I can't move up because our systems are broken. 4 different stations of people doing things all at the same time. And just like obviously going on the honor system of you can't cheat. You can't say, I'm not in this place because it ruins the fun. But what I found was these roles felt really imbalanced in terms of the amount of like fun that you actually got to do in them. I felt like I got to do the most fun roles, which was the engineer little mini game of choosing what things to break every time you move and then crossing them out. Like the person who was next to me was just loading up, just got to cross off X's and say, hey, this weapon system is ready to fire. I was like, well, that doesn't seem exciting at all. So that was kind of a letdown. And then I playing as the navigator was okay. And that was fun, like trying to be the captain and like communicate with the crew. But I just felt like, I feel like it just didn't hit with me. And I think maybe it's because you could have somebody really alpha game it, but it's not like anybody was alpha gaming it in Captain Sonar, because you could just play it all by yourself 1v1 and having to manage all of those things and listen to the other person. I mean, that would probably be pretty hard. You probably want to do it 2v2, one person listening to the other team and plotting things out and the other person navigating. But it just, I don't know. It really... It just was a letdown. Have you played Captain Sonar, Ruel? I assume you have.
I have, yeah. And I liked it, but I felt like I remember when it came out, it was all the rage, it was all the hype, and I can see why people like it. I did enjoy it, but ultimately, I remember with my gaming group, it just fell out of favor way quicker than I thought it would, and or
Yeah.
it didn't have staying power for whatever reason, and I know that didn't they redo Captain Sonar as like a mass market game where it was only 4 players taking like
Yeah, I
something
think
like
it was
that?
just called Sonar or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
I I remember just really wanting this 8-player game to like click, and I
yeah,
just wanted to play it for so long. And
yeah,
I've almost gotten it so many times. I'm like, you know what? You know a person who has it. If you're gonna play it, you need 8 people. So you're gonna play it with them. Like
yeah,
pool your jets, don't add it to your collection. And it's one that like I don't see myself ever wanting to play again. Like I
yeah,
liked it, it was fine, but it ultimately it was just like a ah, yeah,
yeah,
and it's that sort of like super high expectations and putting something forward and being like, oh, this is gonna be a frenetic, awesome thing,
right,
and it just being okay. So
yeah,
yeah, that was
yeah.
Captain Sonar.
Yeah,
Battleship for gamers.
exactly. Yeah, real time battleship for gamers, and ultimately, I mean, I liked it, but didn't love it as much
Yeah,
as
yeah,
everyone else did. Yeah. Okay, great
yeah.
choice. Let's move on to my most disappointing game, and this one just bummed me out for a couple of reasons, and I talked about this on my Ruel's wrap up, where I talk about the games I play every month. I played this back in March. It's actually a game that's coming out at Gen Con, but I got an early copy of it. It's a game called Bonsai, like bonsai tree, right? This one is a tile laying game, and that I was like super hyped about. I'm always hyped about tile laying games, but right off the bat, I mean, it's perfectly fine as a tile laying game, but this is what bothered me, and I didn't say anything when I brought it to Dice Star West. This bothered me, the artwork on this. I mean, I checked. There was no cultural consultant used on this game, but stuff like this, folks. There's a movie from the 50s called Breakfast at Tiffany's, and there's
Oh
a
yeah.
horrible, stereotype played by Mickey Rooney of, I forget the character's name, but it's a Japanese character, and this character right off the bat just reminded me of that, and just really left a bad taste in my mouth. I didn't say anything. I just want people to, I brought the game to Dice West, and the people I played with, sure enough, 2 of them right off the bat said, I don't know about this art. And it was such a bummer to me because I wanted to like this game. It just, it's about building, growing bonsai trees. It's really neat in that aspect. Does it do anything new? I don't think it does anything new as far as tiling. And I'll show you the basics here. So you're going to draw tiles, and they're hexagons, and you have your base, right? And that base you're going to, draft, the different terrains or different types of things like leaves, branches, or petals, or whatever it was. And you're going to eventually expand your bonsai tree. And I think that's neat. It does have a little bit of engine building here at the, if you can see on the bottom here, you start with your planter, you have, your water can, you have your tree there, and those are going to give you extra resources, certain abilities. Again, based on that, that card, it's called a helper or whatever. That helper is going to get you more stuff, and you're trying to complete the goals there, and as you go, if you complete a goal or whatever, you're going to get more points. But yeah, ultimately it just left a bad taste in my mouth for the artwork. It was a bummer, but I mean, it is what it is. I was bummed and I was disappointed by
Yep.
Bonsai. That's it. Yeah.
It's always so tough. Like I understand the impulse. I've had that with a few like prototypes, especially.
Hmm.
I've gotten it. I've looked at it. I've been like, listen, you really need to change this art. Like I
Yeah.
understand that you're going for archetypes and that like that it's easy to like want to throw on these archetypes and like let's get past this.
Yeah.
Let's just like not it's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really particularly enjoy that many games about colonialism. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like
Yeah. It's
it's
like,
like yeah, okay, sure, like that happened, but like I don't want to like think about it. I don't want to
yeah.
like participate in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to just like revel in it
Yeah.
that much, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it comes for me. It comes down to that whole thing. Come on, let's just do better, folks.
Let's just do better.
Just do
We
better.
don't have to do this, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can do it a better way. So in a way that like doesn't potentially alienate X amount of people.
yeah,
So just
yeah.
so just like do it that way instead.
Exactly. Yeah. Now there was there was a little slight hiccup there, folks. I pressed the wrong button and something just popped up a little. It said Gloomhaven. I'm marking it right there. Richard, please edit that out. But we will get back to it right now. Okay.
Hey, I mean, Cephalofair is our sponsor, right?
Yeah. Why not give them, extra time on
shout
camera? Yeah, a little shout out. Okay.
They use cultural consultants.
They do. They're yeah.
Good on you, Cephalofair.
Excuse me. Okay, so that's our most disappointing. Let's see what Richard's got for us for his most disappointing. Richard, take it away.
Okay, disappointment time. Yeah, Ruel, I remember when you talked about Bonsai in your wrap-up a few months ago. So I think you played it at Dice Tower West, right? If I recall correctly. And yeah, that is a real shame. It looks like a sharp enough little tile laying game, but that presentation, I really hope they fix it somewhere down the road because it's like, but anyway, Chris, what was yours? Oh, geez, Louise, Captain Sonar, talk about a fan favorite. But in all honesty, I kind of agree with you. I actually got a chance to play it once with Jen and a big group of people years ago at Essen Spiel, and I thought, boy, this game does absolutely nothing to help new players get into the swing of things when you're playing with a bunch of hardcore veterans of the game who know it in and out. We had a terrible time. No offense to the folks we played with. They were all nice and jovial, but geez Louise, literally throwing you into the deepest end of the pool. And yeah, I'm sure it's great, but yeah, we did not enjoy our time. So I think we were disappointed many, many years ago, which is apparently where Chris lives, in the past as opposed to the present. Alrighty, what was mine? My Island. Now, this is a new legacy campaign game from Reiner Knizia. I'm warning Ruel, I know how much you love The Great Doctor, and to be fair, this is a great tile laying game. It works wonderfully. The Legacy campaign was a lot of fun, and in fact, it does some things much, much better than its predecessor, My City. The events that happen throughout the game are big and surprising and really game-changing, and we enjoyed all of that. If I were looking at this only as a Legacy game, I wouldn't be disappointed at all. But, like My City before it, it has special rules that allow you to continue to play the game after the campaign is over. So you don't have to throw your game away, which is great. Why is that disappointing? Because the Eternal game, it's called, basically throws away over half of all the cool stuff of the game. There are so many neat, memorable moments that I want to be able to revisit. There are really cool new tools you get that you unlock throughout the campaign that would totally work in an ongoing replayable way. And yet the developer said, nope, just go on ahead and reset this game back almost to its bare bones basics, where it's a good tile laying game, but what makes it special is lost. So, if you go into My Island, mostly looking at it for its 24-chapter narrative campaign, and then you're prepared for an ongoing post-campaign game that does not live up to what you just experienced, maybe you won't be disappointed, but I was hoping for something more, which is why My Island, it broke Jensen my heart.
And that breaks my heart too. The Good Doctor, but you know what? It's okay because the Good Doctor will create another 100 games or so by next year, and one of them will be
true.
good.
Yeah,
yeah. I loved My City and My Island. I was interested, but honestly, I have heard a few grumbles about it. It hasn't lived up to the hype, apparently.
There's always another Knizia around the corner.
That's how he rolls. Okay, let's move on to our number 5 question from Reggie. Reggie. His prompt was, number 5, what game do you want to get off of your shelf of shame the most? Chris, I know we both got tons of games on our shelves of shame, but what's the one that you want to get off your shelf first, the most?
Well, the one that I want to get off my shelf first has actually been acting as a lovely microphone stand for me until I play it. So thank you. Representing City of the Great Machine, this is one that I'm actually very excited about. This is one that I can't wait to play. It's a 1 versus all game. I saw it when it was back on Kickstarter, and then they reached out for me to cover it, and I was like, yes, please. And I was like, I want to cover it as soon as possible, so send it to me in Halifax. So they have, and I'm gonna play it. This is one of the things where review obligations that doesn't feel like an obligation whatsoever, because I was really excited for it. It was like my pick of the week when I was covered it back in Kickstarter. It's one player plays the Great Machine, and they can move rooms around in this modular steampunk city, and thwart the agents who are trying to create a revolution. They want everybody just to stay in orderly fashion. And so the agents will communicate with each other and they'll be like, hey, we should do this sort of thing. And then the great machine will then put their actions face down and you all reveal at the same time. And so what I also really like is that the agents are trying to sort of, I like games that kind of throw this in, that they're trying to have that communication like, hey, do you want to, should we go to that location? Yeah, we should. But they can't say it, or else the great machine will just be like, I'm bolstering the defenses in the library, right? And so I love that potential interplay. That's what I'm really looking forward to. And yeah, it just seems like a really nice production copy. Slick thing. I think it'll be easy for people to get the hang of too. Like not a lot of rules overhead. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting this to the table. It's one that I've like read the rule book a bunch and like haven't gotten the group yet to play, but I know very soon I will, and I can't wait. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, sure. This one I remember watching Shay's run through, which we were just watching right now, and it looks awesome. And I would hopefully one day I don't have it on my shelf of shame, but hopefully one day I'll get it on my shelf of shame so I could wish that I played it, right? So all right. Nice, good call, Chris. Let's move on to mine. This one is actually, I'm going to be honest, it's not on my shelf of shame. It's on my living room table of shame because I cannot fit it on my shelf. It is, oh, by the way, it just happens to be a game from our sponsor, Cephalofair Games, Frosthaven. I am dying to play this game. And again, it can't fit on my shelf because it's ginormous, but I can't wait to play it. You know, Gloomhaven, Frosthaven. Again, check the show notes below for the current campaign on Backer Kit. But, you know, it's Gloomhaven, but in this new standalone, or I mean, sequel. And the gameplay, it's supposedly sharper. They've taken the lessons they learned from Gloomhaven, streamlined some stuff, created this whole new narrative. And, you know, you're still out there being the best mercenaries you can to, you know, get all, as Indiana Jones would say, fortune and glory, kid. And I don't know how I brought Indiana Jones in this. It has nothing to do with this, but it looks fantastic. This is Richard's run through of the prototype. And, you know, you still got the basics of Gloomhaven, you know, playing your action cards game, trying to get the initiative and trying to puzzle out exactly how you want to go about killing all the bad guys and getting the loot and going and leveling up and all that. So I'm excited for this. It got minis. I mean, folks, this is such a big game, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have not finished Jaws of the Lion, the smaller one yet, so I want to finish that, and then eventually get to Frosthaven. I never completed Gloomhaven, but I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go straight to Frosthaven because it's awesome, and you know, so that's going to be the game that I want to get off my shelf shame the most. Frosthaven.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's just more Gloomhaven. I haven't finished Gloomhaven either, and I haven't even started Jaws of the Lion, which is also on my shelf of shame.
Nice.
So I could not justify purchasing Frosthaven because I have so much that I still have to uncover. But definitely worthwhile getting to it.
Definitely. Okay, let's see what Richard's got on his shelf of shame.
Okay, Ruel, I'm right there with you. I've got my copy of Frosthaven right up there, just off camera, and it is taunting me. It is mocking me, but I feel like I can't even start it until I finish Jaws of the Lion. So, yeah, those are very, very high on my list, but those are going to be such a huge commitment of time. I've chosen a different one. And Chris, City of the Great Machine. Yeah, that looks great. I really enjoyed the run-through that Shay did of it last year, I think, or maybe it was 2 years ago now. I can't blame you for that. That seems like a good call to be very, very sad about. But for me, I am going to be very, very sad about not having gotten a chance to play The Gardens. When I first saw Amy and Maggie talk about it on their Thinker Themer channel, I was already in love with it. And then over here, Board Game University, Stella did a great little how to play when it was crowdfunding originally. And yeah, I know this is just going to be one that Jen I absolutely adore. I only recently got a copy of it. It is taunting me, and it's tricky too because I'm late to the game, so the folks who vote on what games I cover aren't particularly excited for me to see it, but I really want to get this off my shelf of opportunity. The Gardens. Oh man, this looks good. And thank you, Stella, from Meeple University, for a great video.
Yeah, I remember when this was crowdfunding and it looked fantastic. And for whatever reason, I missed the boat on it. But hopefully Richard gets it off his shelf of shame soon.
Yeah, I remember it too. I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Just so many games. So many games. Okay. Let's move on to our 6 of 8 questions from Reggie. Reggie asks, number 6, which game from 3 or more years ago, Chris, did you discover this year?
Well, you know me. I'm all about the cult of the new. I don't like to really live in the past too much, so I don't like to play older games. You know what I mean? Games, for me, they expire. They expire, and if you're playing older games, blech, yuck. But for this one, I decided to make an exception.
Nice.
And remember how we said there's always another Knizia around the corner?
Yes.
Well, this is my Knizia around the corner. I've talked about it a bunch. It's Raw. And so technically I'm probably cheating with this a bit because I think I played it for the first time, November, maybe December.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it. Picked up a copy from working through World Series of Board Gaming and then like did the coverage on it. And then I wanted to put this here because I feel like I've really discovered how great a game this is over this year. It's a game that, like, with this new edition that's just come out, a gorgeous edition by 25th Century Games. It's not the one that we're showing right now, but that's kind of one of the older editions. But it's just so well done. It's so satisfying and it's so easy, so simple to get to the table. And what really made me excited about it is the fact that, like, some of my non-gaming friends have really taken a shine to it. It's one that I brought here to Nova Scotia because I was like, you know what, anybody could get into this game, and anybody could have that feeling of fun with it. It's so simple. You either add tiles to the common pool or you say "rah" and you start an auction, making people bid for tiles in that common pool. But, like, just the push and pull of that is enough. It's enough.
Yes.
It's great. Yeah.
It's so brilliant. I love that you said raw, because it's inevitably that's how it's said in the game. You can't just say raw. It's rah or whatever.
Yeah, it's raw.
I have to shout this out, this video. It's from the Dice Tower because yours truly was invited to go play with Tom and them 2 years ago. I spent a couple of days there playing games. Raw was the only game I won the entire time I was there, and I have to show this video because I won Raw. I was so excited. It's a brilliant game. One of, my opinion, Knizia's top 3 games probably of all time. Yeah. I'm a sucker for Samurai, but Raw is right up there. Great choice, Chris. Yeah, as Richard would say, welcome to what year was, like 2010 or whatever it was it came out.
I feel like it was even like 99.
99. Oh my gosh, yeah.
While you move on to yours.
Cool. My game, it's one that I discovered. It's been out for, I think, 4 years now. It's not too old, but it has been out for a while, and I'd heard about this game. It seemed like something that would be my jam, and I finally got a copy of it, and it turns out, yes, it is my jam. It is Undaunted Normandy. Let's take a look at Kimberly's run-through for the channel. It's an interesting mix of a deck building and tactical warfare on the tiles here. You use your deck. You start with your starting deck. You're either the allies or the Axis powers, and you're using it to move your troops. And find out, try to, battle the other troops, and you're supposed to complete missions, whether it's to take over a certain spot on the map or whatever. It's brilliant because it's so easy to get into, and you can see there are the cards, just a couple of things there to, either movement or, command or bolster directions where you can add troops to the board, or you can, get more ammo or whatever. Oh man, I don't know how this, I know why it slipped past me. The whole World War II thing, it's not really my thing. But the gameplay in this is outstanding, Chris. It is so streamlined. And for a war game, battling 1v1. Now, it's not going to be for everyone. I mean, it is in your face. You're battling against someone else. But I think it's just so well done and so quick to play. You're playing these little skirmishes in about 30 to 45 minutes. And it's a 2-player game. Now, there are a couple expansions, and there's one that just added a solo bot, too. So you can play this solo. But, in each box, this is the Normandy one. There is, like, I think a North America or North Africa campaign now. There's, I think, a a UK campaign coming up. But each box has different battles within it. So this, I think, what Kimberly's playing, I think this might be the first one. But there's like different setups, the way you're going to move your tiles. There's also different cards. So depending on the mission or whatever, the skirmish battle, you are going to be, using different cards from the box. So got a lot of replayability, just a very smart game. And even if you're not into the whole war theme, folks, I would recommend it because of the gameplay. It's so sharp. And that is a game that I discovered recently, Undaunted Normandy.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, 2019. Mine was 1999.
So no, it was like, oh my gosh.
But,
the good doctor, he builds games to last. Gotta love
still
that.
Good.
Okay.
Still freaking great.
It is. Let's see what Richard's discovered this year.
All right, big discoveries from older titles. What did you have, Ruel? Oh, Undaunted Normandy. Yeah, not my cup of tea, but Kimberly did a great job covering it on the channel, and I thought it looks like a lot of fun. If you want a head-to-head battle of wits set in a very, very depressing time in human history, then I don't think you can go wrong. Seems very, very sharp. And Chris, wow! Welcome to the party, pal. I mean, what is that? Is that a 1997 published game? It must be later than that. It must be early 2000s. But still, I can't fault you. That new deluxe edition of Raw that just came out, I just got a copy of it myself. It is so just gorgeous. It feels good. It looks good. It now has all the presentation to match its stellar gameplay, which still holds up all these years later. But for me, I have to say my biggest surprising discovery, right, we did surprises, this is discovery from a few years ago, was Electropolis. And here's Amy and Maggie. They also only recently discovered it this year when they did a trip to Taiwan. I got it from a friend who had friends in Taiwan, and we were all blown away. This is such an incredible tile-laying game. It's, kind of SimCity-ish, all about, building up a power grid to take care of the people, and you can do dirty power or clean power. We've seen this in a lot of different things. It's got smart tile laying because you're trying to get the right tiles next to each other, jigsaw puzzle style. There's nothing new there, but what's really special about this game, there's two things. The drafting for the tiles you grab every round kind of ties into this King Domino initiative system, which is really, really smart. I really like that a lot. But what's more important, every round you're going to get anywhere from 2 to 6 tiles, which means you can have turns where you're getting a huge amount of tiling done, and sometimes you're just taking baby steps. But also every turn you're going to get a new card, and each one of these cards has 2 halves, some kind of bonus, whether it's points or resources generated or objectives or whatever it might be, and the other half of that card tells you all the tiles you just got, here's where you have to put them, on the bottom half of your board or on the extremities or whatever. And this card idea of, I want that special power desperately, but I do not want to build in that section of the city, and this is the turn where I just picked up 5 tiles. I can't even squeeze them all into that section, but I want that card so bad. Oh my gosh, Electropolis is fantastic. If I recall correctly, it came out in 2019, and 2019, still, I think, one of the best years of modern board games, period, and Electropolis just further cements that year. This is fantastic. I don't know how you can get a copy of this game outside of Taiwan. Hopefully, at some point, some publisher picks it up for wider distribution, because it's absolutely fantastic. My happiest discovery this year was Electropolis.
Okay, yeah, that game I know that Richard was hyped on. I have never seen it out anywhere, but except for some videos and stuff.
Now.
Yeah, so looking forward to checking that out. Cool. Chris,
that'll be on my surprise for next year.
Exactly, right? Why don't we move on to number 7? Chris, the question is, excuse me, which anticipated releases are you most excited about for the second half of this year?
So this is a game that I have coming to me from Kickstarter. I backed it last year. It is an expansion to an existing series of games, to an existing game. It's the second expansion of this game. It's one of my favorite games. And so it's one that I know is actually coming out and will be coming to stores. I always feel, since I operate a lot in the Kickstarter realm, my timelines get skewed because I cover things that are being funded, and then you have the 14-month waiting period to 18 months to 24 months, right, before they actually come out. But this one I know is coming out, and I'm so thrilled, and I can't wait to get it. As soon as it gets to my door, I'll probably break it out and play it.
Nice.
And that's Unfair, the Unfair expansion, the comic book, hacker, kaiju, and ocean expansion. A really cool thing about Unfair is that they're going to make an expansion deck for every letter of the alphabet. So how you basically how you set up the game is you take a deck for each person, and you kind of mash them all together. And they'll have different sort of attractions and different events and different objectives that you have to complete, which usually require finding a specific card in the deck and building those with different accoutrements, right? Like adding air conditioning to all of your sideshows or something could be a blueprint. And so with each deck, you have a different level of how much money is produced, how unfair the cards actually are, like how much take that is in the game. People get scared of this game a lot because they're like, oh, it's way too much take that. And there is a level of take that in that, especially if you're playing it at a 2-player level, because at a 2-player game, oftentimes it will benefit you to tear away somebody's flag if you know that flag is going to give them 99 points, right? You may want to remove that thing. That seems like a strategic decision. In a larger group, you might not take away someone's points, and you might just focus on your own. But I don't think it is as much take that as people make it out to be. And what I do love about all the decks is that they have this scaling, and so you can just like not play with the ninja deck, because the ninja deck's all about like infiltrating your opponent's park and like destroying things, right? You just play with the pirate deck instead, which is all about getting money. And so I love how the different decks and how they interact with each other like really seamlessly, and they all have their own little twist. I'm not sold on the kaiju deck that's coming. There's going to be these big kaijus that are attacking your park, and you have to like roll dice and attack them and make sure your park doesn't get destroyed.
Nice.
And so it feels like it's kind of this weird push and pull. I don't know how that'll play. I think I'm the most excited for the ocean expansion, which is literally adds the least to the game, but that's okay because I like the game. You know, I just want more of what I love. And so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just give me some ocean life into my theme park. Yeah, I'm super stoked on it. Can't wait for this. Was an immediate back for me. I love the game. I can't wait to get every single expansion that comes out, and I'm very excited for it to hit my table.
Nice. Yeah, I remember my experience with Unfair was a good one, but again, there was a lot of take that, so I know it's not for everyone. Yeah. But then we had Funfair, right, which I haven't played yet, but that supposedly was the friendlier version of it. But yeah, all the different factions and stuff, I would definitely give it a shot. So
there's just so much more content for Unfair,
yeah,
and you can just play Unfair the way I am forced to play it when it's just me and my girlfriend, which is without the take that options.
Right.
You just say, hey, you can't use those bottom bad actions of the event cards.
Yeah.
You just don't use them. You can use the other things, but like it takes out most of the like, I'm using an event to screw you over. In general, I always find it's more fun to use it on yourself and like generally more beneficial to use it on yourself anyway. So like I can always reconcile the take that nature of it, but I definitely understand people who get scared of that.
Yeah.
Or who don't like it rather as well.
Yep. Cool. Okay, let's move on. The game that I'm looking forward to this year coming out, and it is, I want to say it correctly. I have a feeling I'm going to mispronounce it, but it is Tabriz. Tabriz.
I think Tabriz.
Tabriz,
yeah.
right? Okay, we'll go with that. This is
a good pick.
Yeah, the new game from Randy Flynn. So if you don't know that name, folks, Randy Flynn just won a Spiel des Jahres last year for Cascadia. Cascadia, not only my favorite game of the year, but last year, but also one of my favorite games of all time. It is wonderful. So the hype is there for this one. This is nothing like Cascadia. This has got some worker placement. It's got it has a solo mode. I didn't even know that as we're watching the video here from our friend Tim Chuan. It's got set collection, and it's got this thing where the markets are fluctuating, so you can get resources for different prices throughout, just depending on how the I guess I'm not really sure how the market works, but you'll find out when you play the game. But beautiful art, beautiful presentation, and I love Tim's video, of course. But you put Randy Flynn on the name of the box nowadays, I feel like it's like automatic, like, yeah, I need to play this game. So there it is, worker placement, engine building, and you're going to be going throughout all of Tabriz. It's like a market. It sort of reminded me just on first glance of like something like Istanbul, where you're just placing, you're moving your pieces around, but it's not pick 'em and deliver. It's worker placement. So I like pick and deliver. I mean, but I love worker placement games. So you got Randy Flynn, you got worker placement, I'm all in. So this is a game that I'm excited for the second half of the year, Tabriz.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool things about Tabriz. Like I did an interview with Randy Flynn for WSBG. It's over on the Dice Towers network.
Oh, nice.
I think it just got released a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
But in that, like, he talked about also Tabriz, like they looked at the budget and they realized, oh, we actually have more money, and so they were going to charge backers less for the game.
Oh,
and like
wow.
that is the only time I can think of in like my 2 years of covering literally every crowdfunding game in existence that has happened, right? Like, it's so rare. That makes me love it even more. And then just, yeah, Randy was talking about how like it had been even in development before he had thought about Cascadia as well too. So kind of cool that like Cascadia ended up coming out first.
Yeah.
But like this has kind of been in the works as well, and seeing those two things working alongside each other, I'm also pretty excited for this game, and got more excited after getting a chance to talk with him as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I mean, charging less for people, when does that ever happen? That's fantastic.
When does that ever happen? It's
right?
Just so cool.
That is awesome. Okay, let's see what Richard's excited about right now.
Okay, anticipation time. Ruel, Tabriz. Oh my gosh, you're right. That looks fantastic. And what a tough act to follow. Randy Flynn's second design after Cascadia. But Randy, I have total faith in you, because from everything I've read about this game, it looks really, really cool. This is high on my anticipation list too. And Chris, we were doing so well, but unfair? Really? I mean, yeah, you got a cold black heart. I understand. You love to destroy your enemies who happen to be your friends, and I guess that's cool. Yeah, unfair is great. I know, because I played Funfair, the infinitely superior title. Well, I want more Funfair expansions, not unfair expansions. But c'est la vie. What am I personally most anticipating? Oh my gosh, there are so many. I had a tough time narrowing this down. This was my toughest choice of all, but I'm gonna go with Planta Nubo from relatively new publisher, the Game Builders, which I don't quite understand. It looks like there's some kind of board game co-op, just bringing together different designers and giving them the freedom to publish whatever they want. And their first one was Applejack, which Amy and Maggie covered for the channel. Really, really cool tile there from Uwe Rosenberg. And now their second big game is also from Uwe Rosenberg, teaming up with the La Granja guys, Mike Keller and Andreas Odendahl. Oh my gosh, I don't know much about this game. There are no pictures, but what is the description? Oh, we grow energy-rich flowers to plant in cloudy gardens, the treetops of the arbors, deliver them in bee-like airships, which transform them to biomass converters to be transformed into green energy. It's got action drafting, contracts, tile placement, worker placement. All I know is the pedigree, Uwe plus Andreas plus, Mr. Keller. And I mean, all I can say is look at the art of this box cover. I really want to go to this steampunk world where it seems like we live in perfect harmony with nature and all of that. It's building cities on top of massive trees, flying around in bee-shaped dirigibles. It certainly looks evocative, to say the least, and I'm sure the gameplay is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's my number one most anticipated game right now, and I have so many great ones to choose from, but I got to give it to Planta Nubo.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Planta Nubo until we did this right here and there, but it's Uwe Rosenberg. Definitely got to put it on the list, for anticipated games.
That art looks gorgeous too. Yeah, like it's one of those things where you look at the box and you're like, "Yep, I'm very interested, and I need to know nothing about it."
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. All right, we're getting to the end here, folks. Again, thanks to Rolling Reggie for all these great questions for the mid-year board game tag. We've got one final one, and Chris is going to share right now. Chris, what is your personal favorite video that you posted to your channel this year?
Yeah, this is kind of a fun one to end on. If I was to direct somebody to the weirdest thing that I've ever filmed, I mean, wait, my favorite thing. It's the same thing, obviously. You know me by now. It would be I did a playthrough. This is my first paid playthrough ever, and it's for this game that didn't end up funding on Kickstarter. So hopefully they'll be back. I think the price point ended up being a little bit too high,
Mhm.
but it's this murder mystery game, or this reverse murder mystery, so to speak, called Murder at Tealwood's Manor, and it is. It's one of my favorite things. It's my favorite thing that I've made this year. I spent so long on this. We really went full out in terms of like costumes. I did very horrible makeup, which I'm sure
This
if I
is
keep
brilliant.
talking long enough. Yeah. So basically, the premise of the game is you know who the murderer is, and you know who the investigator is, and you know who the host is of the party. And so you're taking a turn, you're drafting people randomly, and then you're putting them in a room. But if the murderer is ever in a room with somebody who alone in a room with somebody, they'll kill that person at the end of the hour. And so you have all these cards in your hand of people who you want to die and people who you want to have live at the end of the game. And so you have to like navigate, like, okay, I'm trying to get the murderer so that I can put it in this room, but like all the rooms let you swap people around. And so it's this really fun game of like everything you're putting is put face down, and you get these little tokens where you can peek at what people have put down, and you're trying to think, hey, do they really want that person to die, or are they just bluffing that they want it to die? It's a whole weird shebang thing. And so this video was just a heck of a lot of fun to make. We also like did confessionals for it. And so cutting back and forth in between those
So
two
awesome.
was, let me tell you, it was the longest I've ever spent editing something, probably ever. But I'm very proud of how it turned out. I think it's so dumb.
Yeah.
There are just so many dumb, stupid jokes. My friend Colin plays. He wanted to play as the character Colin Mustard, so he just put mustard on his shirt.
Oh my gosh.
It.
That's brilliant. I mean, look at the makeup. I mean, y'all went full out. Folks, be sure to check the show notes below for the link to this. I mean, you've got to watch this. I watched it right before we recorded live on Twitch, and it's brilliant. It's so much fun.
Yeah, anyway, that's the thing that I'm the most proud of. Like, I put so many hours into it, and just I'm thrilled that it lives on forever. And also, like, legitimately a fun game. And I hope it comes back. Like, it's quite fun. I just think if they're able to get the production costs down and make it like a cheaper package, I think people should scoop it up for sure. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, folks, look at that. I mean, that is so brilliant, Chris. The makeup, love it. Awesome. So it's there's I think it deserves being your favorite. Well done, Chris. Well done. Let's move on to mine, then we'll go to Richard's as we wrap things up here. The favorite video for me that I did this past year is something that my buddy Daryl and I started doing on my channel. We did it a few times earlier this year. We're going to get back to it real soon here. But it is a series that I'm calling On the Clock. And we played Cascadia. We were just talking about Randy Flynn. But what On the Clock is, Chris, is where my friend Daryl and I, we play games as fast as we can using a chess clock. So our goal is to play games that are within the BGG recommended time. For instance, Cascadia, on the box it says 30 to 45 minutes. Our goal is to do it in half the time or less. So our goal was to do this in 15 minutes. But, Daryl and I, we are overachievers, at least we think we are. And we said, we're going to give each other 6 minutes each. That's 12 minutes. And yes, we did play Cascadia in 12 minutes. It's super fast. It's funny because I have this on double time, but when we play it, it does feel like double time in real life. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I actually talked with the Brothers Murph a while ago, and also my friend Matt from Silver Metal Tavern, where we want to play a game with Twilight Imperium using chess clocks, where we only have a certain amount of time, and if you run out of time, you just lose, and that's how we play. You're just
civilization
out.
Explodes.
Exactly, just boom, that's it. So we want to do a 6-player game of Twilight Imperium within like 90 minutes or some crazy amount. And Daryl and I, this is sort of like a testing ground. We've been able to do this. We played it, in 12 minutes. Cascadia. We also did Stone Age. 2-player game. The box says like 45 to 90. We did it in 30 minutes, or I think it was like 28 minutes or something. So obviously you're not playing, you're playing suboptimally, but it's fun, and it's games that we already know sort of like, by heart, and you don't have to think about it too hard, and it's a good time. And that's my favorite video of my channel, On the Clock, playing Cascadia.
That's a great like I think I remember you telling me that you did that, and I just thought it was such a great thing to do. I often whenever we're playing coup and we're like one more round before it breaks up, speed coup,
speed coup,
chanting. You just chant if somebody's taking too long, you're like, make your move. And just like it gets this like really fun frenetic energy, and everybody's playing at that same restriction, right? So like it's fair in terms of everyone's handicapped
totally
in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I think what a great series. What a lovely idea. Everybody go watch Ruel's On the Clock.
Yes.
And try it at home.
Show notes, links below, folks. Yes, check it out. Thank you for that. And why don't we finish up with Richard talking about the favorite video on his channel here.
Okay, favorite video of the channel. This was actually a fun one to do because I generally don't tend to retrospect too terribly often. I had a lot of thought, and I know what my favorite is, but before I get to that, Ruel, I loved that speed clock series you were doing. What'd you do, like 3 or 4 of them? They were fantastic, and you did a great job. I know that you had some technical difficulties getting the clock on screen, the chess clock, so you could see how it's going, but wow, just pure adrenaline in cardboard form. And I folks, follow the links down in the show notes. Go check out a few of these videos that Ruel did. They are fantastic, and I would love to see him go back and doing more, but he needs you people to watch them. So that was very, very cool. And Chris, man, that Teal Woods Manor video, rarely have I seen anybody go all in as much as you did. That was very impressive. Not my favorite of your channel so far, but I think after this, I mean, we're just doing the main show right now, but there's the extended edition of the show, folks. Hit that eye in the top right corner of the screen. I think Ruel and Chris are going to talk about some runner-ups, and I know, Chris, you're going to say my favorite runner-up, which was fantastic. But enough about you. What was my number one video that I'm so happy with? I think it signals a new dawn for my channel. It is the how to play that I did for the latest game from Stonemaier, Expeditions. And here's the deal, folks. I didn't do this alone. Right there on screen right now, that is Alex Hart, who is a very, very sharp young man who lives just about a half hour away from me, does his own YouTube channel called Might I Suggest. His whole thing is being a game sommelier and recommending games to other players. And when we found out he lived so close to each other, we came up with an idea. A new series of games on the channel, how to play style. But unlike every how to play style video out there in the industry, which all borrow from Rodney Smith, the format he came up with over a decade ago, this was radically different. I called it the Rahdo Learns Expedition. That's the video here. Because what we did is I did not play Expeditions. Instead, Alex played it quite a bit, learned how to play, and then brought it to my house, and we sat down and recorded him teaching me how to play. The exact same way that he would teach anybody how to play the game if you were sitting down together at a table. So it is not just a regimented, right, we're just going to go through every section of the rule book and make sure we explain everything. This is a much more natural and organic teaching style. It includes me interrupting him because, wait, what about this and that and the other? Because he was legitimately teaching me how to play the game. And it was fantastic. I've already gotten a lot of feedback that people really liked it. This is the kind of how to play video I want to see more of. Not all about, just scripted and super prepared, just, going through every single bullet item of a rule book, but something that is more natural and flowing that replicates the feeling you get when you sit down and play a game. And as it turns out, Alex is fantastic at teaching games. One of his day jobs is he works at Guardian Games in Portland, Oregon, and every Sunday he runs a new gamer day where they bring in people and he spends all day just teaching people how to play really popular games like Cascadia. So Alex is a world-class game teacher. He did a phenomenal job teaching me, and by extension you, how to play Expeditions. And this is just the start, folks. I think it's fantastic. Later this week, next week, he's going to be driving up here. He's going to teach me how to play a couple of more games. And I want to continue doing it because I really enjoy Alex. He's a great teacher. And hey, it makes my life easier because this is the first game in quite a while that I did not have to teach myself how to play. Absolutely fantastic. I am so excited for the future. You have not seen the last of this nice young man. Although, in the meantime, go check out Alex's channel, My Dice Just a Game. We'll put a link for that down in the show notes, too. And, yeah, I am very, very excited. This is by far my favorite thing I have done so far on the channel this year. Alex, welcome to the party, pal. Okay, guys.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that as well. As Richard said, it was a lot more natural to teach. As someone if you were at a game day or at home or whatever, Alex really brought his A game and taught the game beautifully. So, well done.
Nice.
Yeah, wow. Mid-year board game tag. It's been a thing. This has been fun.
Tag you're it. Anyone who's watching it, fill it out in the comments below. We want to know. For sure. Absolutely, we do.
Absolutely, folks. Yeah, let us know. What you like, what you didn't like. Let us know your answers to the board game, mid-year board game tag, and we'd love to hear what you have to say. And I'm stopping right there. I'm pausing because I'm supposed to run this video, which I forgot to add into the thing. So, sorry, Chris. I know we're running a little over. I hope you don't.
No, we're good. We're good.
You good? Okay. I need to add a video real quick. So, I had downloaded it, but it was not ready to go. Totally my bad. I was wrapped up in other things, folks. So you get to see this live, folks. Again, we talk about the making of the sausage. You're seeing all the sausages being made right now.
I've seen so many sausages of yours at this point, Ruel.
I'm going to leave that comment alone. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is, let me see how am I going to segue into this. And where did it go? Got that video. Sorry about this, folks. We're going to edit this out in the YouTube video, but I don't know where this video went. It was... Okay.
We're just building the suspense.
Yeah,
what
right?
What sort of delightful sausage game are you about to witness?
Is this it? There it is right there. Okay, let me bring this up.
Bavarian?
Yeah, Bavarian.
Oktoberfest?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay. So I'm going to do a little segue to this, and then we'll come back and do our outro, Chris. And, okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Wait, where did it go? Okay, it's over here. Okay. Okay, and before we get going, folks, I want to share this final video from Richard. Richard, take it away.
As far as I'm concerned, one of the coolest things that happened in all of board gaming world in 2022 was the Uganda Village Board Game Convention. This is so cool. It's been an event that Ben Parkinson has been putting on for years now. Every year he raises funds to be able to run a convention in Uganda that is attended by all kinds of kids from all over the area. And for many, if not most, this is their first introduction to what you and I love, the modern, exciting designer world of board games. And you get to take these home and share them with their friends and family. And heck, if we're lucky, they become lifelong board game fans. And again, if you're like me, folks, you know what a positive impact modern designer board games can have on, heck, an old brain like mine, let alone young brains like these. They're incredible for logical thinking and learning tools and all of that. And so, Ben has been doing this for years, and I mention all of this because last year was a huge success. They raised 5,300 pounds to be able to pull off their biggest convention so far, but you might have guessed, folks, Ben, as of this week, is starting to fundraise for a 2023 convention, and I just want to do a shout out. I want people to know about this. I know times are tough, folks. The cost of milk is higher than it used to be, but if you have any spare cash that you could share, why don't you consider hitting the link down in the show notes? It's the very top of the show notes to maybe throw a bit towards Ben and these kids so they can have an amazing convention this year, especially because Ben is being more ambitious than he ever has been before, because this is not only a board game convention, but a science fair as well, because a lot of these kids, bright, smart kids don't have access in their day-to-day classrooms to, really cool science equipment and chemicals and stuff like that. So Ben is raising funds for the games, for the venue, and also for all the accoutrement they need to be able to have a wonderful science fair. So these kids, their brains can be fired not only by amazing modern board games that bring them all together, but also hopefully catch the bug for science. And I know Ben is planning on bringing games like Ark Nova and probably Earth and Terraforming Mars that will maybe get them into science, both on the board game front, and they'll actually be able to play with the science themselves. This is just, there's a lot going on in the world that drives people nuts, but if you want to make a difference, a real meaningful difference in people's lives, can I suggest again, hitting that link down in the show notes. So far, as of now, like I said, he only started this week. There is one generous person who has put up 100 pounds. Oh, don't worry, you can back in the monetary currency of wherever you're from. They're trying to hit 2,600. Last year, what did they hit? They hit 5,300. Folks, let's blow it out of the water. Let's see if they can hit 10,000 this year and give these kids the most amazing board game convention and science camp they've ever seen. I put it in your hands, folks. Don't leave that one backer hanging. You can be the second or the third or the fifth or the 100th, and I hope that's the case. Ben, I continue to be amazed by your generous spirit and what you're doing here. And folks, I hope if you're inspired at all, you might go check it out. Again, links in the show notes. Oh, hey, and before we move on, just in case you can't see the link down in the show notes because you're not on YouTube right now, maybe you're listening to this as a podcast on the road or whatnot, you can point your browser next chance you get to uganda.rahdo.com, uganda.rahdo.com, and that will also take you to the crowdfunding site for this wonderful, wonderful thing.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, he had mentioned this last year as well, and I was able to donate a little bit. Folks, if you have the means to do so, it's a worthy cause, and I want to thank Richard for bringing that to attention. I missed the reminder or whatever the notification, but it just went live, so we've got a chance to make a real difference, everybody. So check that out. Chris, this has been a pleasure as always. Thank you again. I hope your voice clears up real soon here. I mean, we're both sort of hacking it up these days, so hopefully you'll be getting better real soon.
We're quite the pair, you and I, but we still did it together, and I appreciate being here as always, Ruel. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, thank you. And that's going to do it today, folks. Thanks to our sponsors at Cephalofair Games for hanging out with us today on the R&R&R Show. We'll see you later next time. Take care. Bye-bye. And hello, Chris, we have gone long. We have gone long.
Gone pretty long, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to?
I said I wasn't going to talk that much, and then I proceeded to ignore that completely. And just talk as much as I wanted.
Do you want to just go quickly over some of the games that were on our list?
Yeah. I had a couple of things that I was debating between. John Company was also a disappointment, but I've already talked about it, so I was I wanted to talk about Captain Sonar. Yep. Cry Havoc is one that's on my shelf of shame that I really want to get to.
Yeah.
I know it's got Rising Sun vibes to it.
Yes.
And I just haven't pulled it out yet. I didn't bring it to Halifax.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy that one. The combat system in that is very unique. It's different than any other one I've played. So I think you'll like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's getting me really excited about it. I know, I've read through the rules again, so it's I know it's one of those things where I know as soon as I get it, but I just need to play it with 4. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I don't want to have the automated green faction.
Yep.
So that was one. I'm really excited for Too Many Bones Unbreakable to get some of that content and start playing that. Yep. I am. That was on my anticipated. Nice. And then also my other favorite video, which I think Richard was referencing my rap video.
That's what
I was referencing my rap video.
Yeah.
But I didn't film that in 2023. So I was trying to only pick videos that I'd filmed in 2023.
Right.
That was on my list. But I guess the phrasing is, what's the personal favorite video that you've posted to your channel? So it could be not in 2023, but I was trying to live in the present. I was told I lived too much in the past. I am super proud of my rap video though. It's amazing. I did a cover of Childish Gambino's Freaks and Geeks. Yeah. It's called Geeks and Geeks.
So good.
That's I've pinned that as my, if you go to my channel for the first time, you see it because I am the most proud of it and I want people to keep seeing it.
Oh yeah.
And I spent 3 months writing it, and even
Oh
more
my
time,
gosh.
like learning how to film and whatever.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
so
that
I'm
video
pretty
is
proud
brilliant.
of that one.
Nice. Anything else on your list? I think you're
No,
good.
that was pretty much it.
Okay.
I was juggling between Rococo and Raw for like games that you discovered, but I was like, no, Rococo's my favorite, and so
Yeah.
that's why
Cool.
I was just pushed over my lamp.
Yeah.
That's
All
it.
right. Real quick on mine, the other ones, let's see. Nothing. The only other ones I was anticipated releases I'm most excited about. Empire's End is one of them. John DeClaire game. Basically takes No Thanks and fuses it with Space. A really clever mechanism. And and then Sagrada Artisans, which Richard's covered here on the channel before. The roll and write version, legacy version of Sagrada. So yeah. I think that's going to do it. We've gone way over. Chris, thank you for your time as always. And everyone
Thanks,
in
chat,
chat,
for hanging out.
yeah, thank you, chat, for hanging out. Why don't we pick someone out to raid? Let me get that set up here. Y'all have been great today. Thank you for your patience, and thanks for hanging out. This has been a fun one to do.
It's been a fun one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see if we can do other things like this. And again, yeah, let's see. Where is...
We'll make a tag of our own and send it out into the world.
Hey, maybe we should. Let's talk to Richard. Maybe we should make that happen. Why don't we go over? Let's see who's playing video. Who's playing board games? Meeple Grande is playing some board games, so we'll go to Meeple Grande. Folks, hang out. You're going to get extra points if you raid with us to Meeple Grande. They are playing board games. I don't know exactly what game they're playing, but let's take a look. Meeple Grande is playing.
We're gonna find out right now.
Yeah, something with a bunch of hexes on it. So it looks like a board game to me, Chris.
You know
So
it's gonna be good then.
Yeah, we're gonna raid on over there. And it's gonna be in a few seconds. Chris, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, just thanks for being here as always. Such a pleasure hanging out with you, chat.
Yeah.
And I guess Ruel, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm here. What are you gonna do? But thank you, chat. Have a good one. And we're sitting on a raid right now. Raid. Let's see if it picks up. I believe we have raided. So
yeah, seems like it.
I